Hi future officers, welcome to chapters and welcome to our another important current affairs weekly revision session where we are going to cover the third week of April 2026. So if I am audible and visible to all of you, please give me a thumbs up in the chat box so that we can start with the today's session. So my dear future officers, I am expecting your response in the chat box. Please give me a thumbs up in the chat box if I am audible and visible to all of you so that we can start with the today's session. Am I audible and visible? Very good afternoon, Harshal, Kashish, Pranav, ABC, and all the people who have joined us live today in this session. Are you guys able to listen me and am I visible to everyone? Okay, so good afternoon everyone once again, and today we are going to cover the third week of April 2026. And my dear friends, let me tell you that in these particular sessions we are going to cover all the important current affair articles from the examination point of view, right? So basically here we will be covering the reports, schemes, ESI or finance current affairs, phase 1 current affairs which are only relevant for phase 1 examination and they have no direct relation to the syllabus of the RBI Grade B officer exam. So ABC, let me tell you that after the session you will be getting the PDF. Don't worry about it. We will be providing you the PDF after the session, okay? And let me tell you that for now you are just required to look into the screen which I am sharing with all of you. You are not required to look at any PDF for now. Okay? Clear to everyone? Additionally, my dear friends, apart from that, we will be covering RBI notifications also. So I believe that everything is clear to everyone and we are already done with the first 2 weeks of April. The first 2 weeks of April is already done. And when it comes to the current affairs chapter, we are providing you the coverage across the various important newspapers like Economic Times, Live Mint, PIB, RBI website and the Business Standard. So my dear friends, please confirm me if you guys are really ready with the today's session so that we can start the session. So the screen is visible to everyone. All the technicalities are good to go. Shall we start? Have you guys understood the importance of these sessions and are you guys doing proper revision of the PDFs and solving the MCQs that we have already covered of the last 2 weeks? See my dear friends, it is very important that you are covering, you are not just attending the sessions, but you are also revising the PDFs plus you are solving MCQs as well, and you are also required to do that puncture analysis that I told you in the orientation class. If anybody of you is not aware of the puncture analysis, so let me tell you here that this is the comprehensive analysis that we have to do whenever we are preparing for the examination and we are basically attempting any quiz from the examination point of view. Okay, clear to everyone? So clear है सभी को? Okay, so I can see here that yes, everybody has said yes, that yes, everything is clear and we are good to go with the today's session. Okay, so let's start. So my dear friends, again we will be today focusing on the current affair articles from 16th to 22nd of April. 16th to 22nd of April, right? We have already provided you the 22nd of April current affair chapter in the morning on the portal, right? The post was also been provided to you on the same. And today we will be covering the first set of articles, that is the phase 1 and 2 articles, right? And there we will be covering these 30 articles that are the part of this particular list. I hope this is clear to everyone. So let's start with the very first article of the today's session. So the first article is Operational Guidelines for Urban Challenge Fund. UCF scheme, right? So my dear friends, a very, very important initiative taken by the government of India under the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Now comes a very, very important point, that how exactly we are required to understand that, right? So let us try to have a very, very simple example in before starting with this particular topic. So let's take an example, my dear friends, that there is a city, right? Let's take an example, my dear friend, that there is a city, and that city is basically a startup. That city is basically a startup, and startups are always having so many ideas, right? You guys agree with me? Startups are having so many ideas. The ideas can be related to the metro, hospitals, roads, schools, and many other things, right? So basically that startup want to work across all these different ideas, and for those different ideas, what exactly it requires? It requires some financial assistance, right? But as this is basically a kind of startup which is not having much of the documents with it, so what exactly it does is, if it will be going to the bank, will bank give loan to that startup? Please tell me yes or no. Will bank give loan to the startup? Answer is no, right? So what happens is that it goes to the bank. So here, after seeing the conditions of the startup, so government says that okay, don't worry, we are here to help you out, and we will be helping you in this getting all the funding for this particular projects. Don't worry about it. So we will be providing you the financial assistance. Now how exactly this financial assistance will be provided, that is a very, very important part, and for that let us jump into the article and let's see that how exactly this whole fund is going to work. So here, my dear friends, basically we talked about these startups which are the cities, and these are basically the urban areas, and that's why we are having urban challenge fund scheme. Okay, so here it is being launched by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, which has launched the operational guidelines for the urban challenge fund along with the credit repayment guarantee sub scheme in the New Delhi. So my dear friends, let me tell you here that as a part of this particular scheme, along with this operational guidelines for the UCF, right, they have also come up with the credit repayment guarantee sub scheme, right? So let's take an example, that if that startup wants money, right? So government says that okay, there is some amount of money that I will pay you. I will pay you some amount of money, but remaining of the money you have to arrange from the market. As banks are not providing the money, so I am providing you the money, right? And the remaining money you have to basically arrange from the market. Now how exactly this particular thing will be taking place? So basically the government will enroll the banks here. So government will say that see, you give the money to this startup, my friend is coming, if that person will not be able to give the money, then I myself will be providing you the guarantee that I will be paying the money on behalf of this particular person. So that's how it is basically providing the credit repayment guarantee to the bank, and when bank is getting the guarantee of the government, which is the supreme, so there will be no problem in giving the amount to the startups, right? So that's how this particular urban challenge fund is going to work. Now let's try to understand this in a technical details about the given operational guidelines of the scheme. So basically here the CRGSS aims to support smaller cities including tier 2, tier 3, hilly and the northeastern cities by enabling access to the market based financing through credit guarantees. So my dear friends, you can see here that who are these city startups? These are the tier 2 cities, tier 3, hilly and the northeastern cities, right? And we will be providing them access to the market based financial, so that, and how this will be done? Through the credit guarantee. And who is giving that credit guarantee? The government is giving that credit guarantee. Okay, so let's move ahead. The urban challenge fund. So my dear friends, here in the urban challenge fund you can see the UCF will be implemented from 2025-26 to 2030-31, and which will be extendable by a period of 3 years. That means we can expand this scheme by a period of 3 years, so that we can develop cities as growth hubs. So, and which cities we will be focusing on? We won't be focusing on these cities which are already developed like Mumbai, Delhi, metropolitan cities. No, we are focusing on these cities which we want to develop, which are not yet developed. For example, tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities, hilly and the northeastern cities. So basically we will be working in these cities on those projects which are the bankable projects. Which are bankable projects means which can be executed. Clear? So this will be mobilizing nearly 4 times, that is rupees 4 lakh crore investment through market based financing. Now how exactly this is going to happen? Let me explain you in a very simple manner. So government says that see 100% of the project is there, right? Out of 100%, 25% I will be providing to you, right? The remaining 3/4 of the money you have to arrange, that is around 75% of the money you have to arrange from the market. तो मार्केट से आपको ये पैसा लेना पड़ेगा, बाकी 25% आई विल बी गिविंग यू, आई एम एश्योरिंग यू दिस, राइट? और यहाँ पर जो 75% रिमेनिंग अमाउंट है, यहाँ पर कम से कम एटलीस्ट 50% आपको मार्केट से लेना है. बाकी आप कहीं से भी अरेंज करो, यू कैन अरेंज इट फ्रॉम एनीवेयर एल्स, बट येस this 50% should be from the market based sources only. Let's try to see here, and that's how, my dear friends, if one part of that total project is being provided by the government, then we are expecting that you have to basically gather the remaining 3 parts. So that means अगर 1 lakh rupees government दे रही है तो 3 lakh rupees वो खुद से अरेंज करेंगे. So how, what will be the total amount? That will be 4 lakh. Now I think you will be able to understand. So here you can see that the total central assistance that is from the government, it will be of rupees 1 lakh crore, right? Where central assistance is capped 25% of the project cost. I told you 25% of the total project cost will be provided by the government, with at least 50% funding to be raised through the municipal bonds, bank loans and the public private partnership. So through the market based sources you have to arrange the remaining 50% of the amount, at least 50%. Okay, so that's how we will be able to gather the amount of rupees up to 4 lakh crore. तो 4 lakh crore तक का अमाउंट हम मोबिलाइज करेंगे विद द हेल्प ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर अर्बन चैलेंज फंड. क्लियर? So 1 lakh crore will be provided by the government and 3 they will be arranging on their own. So that's how there will be, you can see in the aim of this particular part we have seen that to mobilize nearly 4 times investment through the market based financing. How exactly it became 4 times? एक का 4 किया, ठीक है? We converted that 1 lakh crore into the 4 lakh crore by arranging from the different market based sources. So till now, if everything is clear to everyone, please give me a thumbs up in the chat box, because this is a new guideline which has been launched and I just don't want that you are just, you are just learning the things and not understanding them. If till now everything is clear, please give me a thumbs up in the chat box. So please tell me here in the chat box, Kashish, Pratyush, Harshal, ABC, Pranav, all the people, material share, all the people, everything is clear? Okay. So everybody saying that yes, it is clear. Now let's move ahead. So my dear friends, now we are having a particular composition of that 1 lakh crore that government is providing to these people. What is that composition? Like out of the 1 lakh crore, 90,000 crore is allocated for the projects, right? 5,000 crore will be for the preparation and the capacity building of the project. 5,000 crore will be for CRGSS, 5,000 crore for CRGSS. We already discussed about that. This is a guarantee that will be provided by the government to the banks that okay, you provide the money, I am giving you the guarantee, right? When they are having the guarantee from the government, then there is no problem. If basically anybody says, if government says to you, okay, you don't study, right? You don't study, we will be providing you job, don't worry about it. Any job we will be providing, but we will be providing. So you don't have that pressure, right, on yourself. So you will be exploring more. You will be exploring the sports, music, art, culture, and some people will also go for the study as well, right? So basically that's how we want to create that kind of trust. Clear? So now the fund will be supporting the projects in the urban redevelopment, mobility, last mile connectivity, non-motorized transport, water and sanitation, and climate resilient infrastructure. So these are the different areas across which the government will be providing the support. So these are the projects which can be executed as a part of UCF, Urban Challenge Fund. The focus will be on the scalable, impactful and bankable projects which can deliver long-term economic and social benefits. It promotes a market-linked, reform-driven and outcome-oriented approach focusing on the project bankability, financial discipline and institutional strengthening. And my dear friends, additionally, we have also come up with the e-directory connecting cities with financial institutions, banks and the credit rating agencies launched to aid implementation here as well. So we have created a directory as well, which will be connecting the cities with the financial institutions. See guys, I already told you this, consider this city as a startup. So now that startup is requiring money, so it will be going to the financial institutions, to the banks, right, and the CRA credit rating agencies. So we are making a directory which can connect all of them together, so that every process is very easy. And that is why a MOU has been digitally signed between the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs and all states for effective implementation of the fund. I hope this part is clear. So you can see here the UCF will be launched, and this will be focusing on the areas which includes Tier 2, Tier 3, hilly and the northeastern cities, right? And the timeline will be 2025, 2026 to 2030-31, and it will be extendable by a period of 3 years. Okay. So total investment by government will be 1 lakh crore. The total mobilization will be of 3 lakh crores by the borrower, and total cumulative amount will be 4 lakh crores. Now there is a capping on the total amount of the project cost that can be given by the government, that is 25%, and at least 50% of that should be from the municipal bonds, bank loans and the public-private partnerships. Now when we talk about the composition will be 90,000 crore, 5,000 crore, 5,000 crore. There are the 3 different components. Clear to everyone? Let's move ahead to the value-added tax, that is the credit repayment guarantee scheme. I already told you that under this government is providing the guarantee, and then only they will be given the loans, right? So credit guarantee repayment guarantee scheme of rupees 5,000 crore has been approved. It will facilitate first time access to the market finance for all cities and urban local bodies in the northeastern hilly states and the smaller urban local bodies. So who are these small urban local bodies? Which are having population less than 1 lakh. Okay, so the population should be less than 1 lakh in the smaller urban local bodies, or they can be northeastern and hilly states, cities or urban local bodies, under which they can get the benefit of the CRGS. Okay, clear to everyone? So they will be providing a central guarantee of up to rupees 7 crore or rupees 70% of the loan. Let's take an example that they required a loan of rupees 10 crore, right? So government has said that either I will be providing 70% or rupees 7 crore, whichever is lower. Clear? If the total amount of the project was 12 crore, right, so 70% would have been 8.4, but government will be providing only 7 crore rupees. Clear to everyone? So that's how this is going to work. And this is for the first time loans only, my dear friends. If the next time if they have repaid the loan, successful repayment of the loan pe kya hoga? So central government will be reducing that guarantee, because now a trust has been established between the party and the bank or the institution which is providing the loan. So it will be 7 crore or rupees 50% of the loan amount. So in that case, what will happen? If the total is 12 crore, total project cost is 12 crore rupees. So what will happen? Of this 12 crore rupees, what amount will be provided by the government? That is not 7 crore but 6 crore. Let me tell you, my dear friends, last year we have seen in the phase 2 examination a question like this in the exam, where they basically provided an example. Okay, and this was related to a scheme related to the food sector, right? And the question was related to the capital investment. And I believe the people who have attempted the last year mains paper, they know what kind of question was there, right? And let me tell you here, that is why today, while explaining the scheme, I am providing you a very detailed explanation of the same, so that you are able to understand it properly. Clear? Clear to you? That's why I'm giving you the example that in the first time loan, what can be the maximum amount, in the second time loan, what can be the maximum amount. Okay. Now moving ahead, this will effectively support projects of rupees 20 crore for the first time and 28 crore for the subsequent projects in the smaller cities. तो पहली बारी में 20 करोड़ तक का प्रोजेक्ट प्रोवाइड करेंगे एंड सेकेंड टाइम पे 28 करोड़ तक का प्रोजेक्ट प्रोवाइड करेंगे. Clear to everyone? Are you guys ready for the quick recall for this particular scheme? Please tell me here. Are you guys ready for the quick recall for this scheme? I am waiting for your responses, my dear friends. Let me see who will give me the right answer to all these questions. Okay, so everybody is ready. Let's move ahead. Let me just switch on the annotation so that I can mark the answers here on the screen. Okay, so this is your Drishyam round PDF, and guys, this PDF will be uploaded in the portal only when this particular session will be over, right? That means today again we are having two parts. No, ABC is 20 and 28 crores, not the 10 and 14 crores. Okay, it will be 20 and 28 crores only, which is the amount that will be provided by the government. Okay, and we have already discussed the limits which will be provided by the government. Now let's move ahead. Now first quickly tell me, the Dash has launched the operational guidelines for the Urban Challenge Fund. Please tell me the name of the ministry. It is Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. That is the right answer. Now the CRGSS aims to support smaller cities, including which type of cities are there? It is tier 2, tier 3 cities. Absolutely right. So who is saying tier 1? Tanuja, how can it be tier 1? So my dear friends, we already discussed here, right? They will be tier 2 and tier 3 cities. Why you guys are saying tier 1 and tier 2? Pranav, Tanuja, please guys, we have revise the things again and again, right? So that is why again I am asking you these questions in the form of Drishyam round so that you can retain this information from examination point of view. Okay? Okay, let's move ahead. The UCF will be implemented from 25-26 to which timeline? Please tell me. 29-30 or 20-30-31? Let me confuse you little bit because we have already covered the scheme, we have revised it. Now is the time for all of you to give me the answer. Yes, it is 20-30-31. 20-30-31. And what is the timeline by which it can be expanded? 3 years. 3 years is the right answer. Absolutely right. Now moving ahead. Aim to mobilize nearly 4 times investment through market-based financing. What is the total central assistance? That is rupees 1 lakh crore. 1 lakh crore is the right answer. Central assistance is capped at what percent? 25%, with at least 50% funding to be raised through municipal bonds. Now when it comes to the out of total outlay, what is the allocation for the projects? It was 90,000 crore rupees. And what is the project preparation and capacity building? What is the amount? That is 5,000 crore. And for the CRGSS amount, that is 5,000 crore rupees. Clear to everyone? Now moving ahead to the credit repayment guarantee scheme. So the credit repayment guarantee scheme of Dash has been approved. What is the amount here? We have already covered 5,000 crore rupees. Now it aims to facilitate first time access to market finance for all cities and urban local bodies in northeastern and hilly states and smaller urban local bodies having the population less than 1 lakh. Now the scheme will provide a central guarantee of up to 7 crore or 70% of the loan. On successful repayment of the first loan, central guarantee of rupees 7 crore or what percentage? It will be 50% only. Absolutely right. And this will be effectively support projects of what amount for the first time and for the subsequent projects in the smaller cities. What exactly the amount will be? It will be 20 crore and 28 crores. Absolutely right. I can see in the chat box everybody is able to give me the right answer. So my dear friend, this scheme was quite technical in nature and I believe that we have completed it in a very beautiful manner. If you are able to understand it, please give me a thumbs up in the chat box so that we can move ahead and move on to the next article. See guys, let me tell you that even at times, let me tell you that one article can take the amount of 20 to 25 minutes, but these 20 to 25 minutes are only worthy when you are able to cover, revise and retain the thing, right? As we are not taking any individual sessions of per scheme or the per report, so we have to complete that in a single session only. Clear to you? Okay, so everybody is clear. Let's move ahead to the next article. So government has constituted AI governance and economic group. So my dear friends, government has constituted AI governance and economic group, right? That is AIGEG. Now let us try to understand this with the very help of a very easy example. Let's take an example, my dear friends, that we are having an airfield. You know airfield, where exactly are aeroplanes, all the aeroplanes basically fly, right? This is the airfield, right? And you can see that there are different aeroplanes, and they are basically moving in the different directions. What can happen there in such kind of scenario? They can collide with each other, right? Do you guys agree with me? They can collide with each other. There can be a problem of collision. There can be a problem of safety for the people who are basically the part of that particular flight, right? Clear? So there can be a crash or the accident. So my dear friends, let me tell you here a very important point. Let's take an example that this airfield is related to the artificial intelligence, and we are having so many departments, companies, ministries, different stakeholders are there. And if this airfield of artificial intelligence, when we are having these different stakeholders who are the different planes, let us take an example that this ministry, all these ministries which are working are the different planes, all these companies are the different planes, all these departments are the different planes. So what can happen? They can collide with each other and it will crash, system will crash. So what exactly we have for this? What exactly we are having for this? So we are basically having the air traffic controllers. We are having that long post, that air traffic controller which basically controls the direction of all the flights, which basically directs them that okay, now you have to go to this path, now you have to go to this path, you can land on this runway, you can land on that runway, right? Do you guys agree with me? So my dear friends, let me tell you here, the AIGEG committee or the group which government has basically created, this will be working as this air traffic controller for this airfield which is of artificial intelligence. Clear? And my dear friends, how exactly we are able to understand the path of the aeroplanes when they are flying in the airfield? Through the radar, through the expert engineers are there, right? So these radars and expert engineers will be another committee that we will be covering ahead, and that committee will be TPEC. So I have told you here what is the difference in the role of these two, right? Now we will be jumping into the key details of this committee. Now I think it will be very helpful for you to understand it in a more beautiful manner, right? How exactly it is going to work. Now please try to focus on the details. Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology has constituted the AI governance and economic group as a high level interministerial body. It will be acting as a high level interministerial body that will be serving as India's central institutional mechanism for AI governance in India. For the AI governance, the way we were governing those aeroplanes, right, who are flying in the airfield, similarly, all the stakeholders which are working in this field of artificial intelligence will be governing all of them so that there is a coherence in their direction. All of them are moving in the same direction and a targeted one so that we can achieve some specific targets in our economy. That's why this AI governance and economic group as a high level interministerial body has been created. Okay, the body will be serving as the central mechanism for policy development, coordination and implementation of national AI governance strategy. So this will be serving as a central mechanism for policy development coordination. So all these policies, all these rules, all the coordination, all the implementation for this AI governance strategy will be made by this ATC, Air Traffic Controller, which is the AIGEG group. Clear? It will be giving effect to the recommendations from India's AI governance guidelines and the economic survey, which called for coordinated and whole of the government approach to the artificial intelligence. Now the AIGEG will align actions of ministries, department, regulator, advisory bodies, address labor market impacts, and social stability related to the AI development. So my dear friends, you can see here that I told you that different types of crashes can happen, right? So these are basically what? These are basically the different, rifts between the different departments, ministries and the stakeholders who are in the airfield of artificial intelligence. Now moving ahead, it will be functioning as the apex interministerial body and will be supported by a technology and policy expert committee to provide expert advice on a global development, risk and AI regulation. So I told you that there are radars, expert engineers who provide the data to the air traffic controller to control all of this, right? So similarly here the backend wala work will be done by TPEC, that is Technology and Policy Expert Committee, which will be providing advices on the global developments, risk and AI regulation. Clear to everyone? First of all, please tell me, give me a thumbs up in the chat box if you guys are able to understand the things. This AIGEG will be chaired by a Minister of Electronics and Information Technology, Railways and Information and Broadcasting, Shri Ashwini Vaishnaw, and it will be the vice chairperson will be Jitin Prasad. My dear friends, are you guys liking the way we are covering these and explaining these typical things in a very easy language? Please tell me here, because I just want to ensure by asking this so that I am having that assurity that yes, I am able to make you explain all these things. And you are not just, retaining the thing, you are understanding them. You are understanding what is the need of that. And see guys, when the next time you will be reading this thing, you will see that, okay, so I just know what is the whole concept behind this, and now I'm not just required to read the things. Because it was a kind of problem in our society, we have come up with a solution, that's it, all end, right? Okay, good to see that everything is clear. So now my dear friends, let's try to answer the questions. So the dash has constituted the AI governance and economic group. Can you please tell me what is the name of the ministry which has launched this particular committee, which has constituted this AI governance and economic group? I'm waiting for your response in the chat box. It is Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Absolutely right. Now moving ahead, this group will be functioning as the apex interministerial body and will be supported by a dash to provide expert advice. What is the name of that committee which will be providing expert advice? That is TPEC. And who will be the chairperson of the AIGEG? Ashwini Vaishnaw, who is the Minister of Electronics and Information Technology. And who will be the vice chairperson? That is Jitin Prasad. Absolutely right. Is this clear to everyone? Now my dear friends, let's move on to the next article. So LIC has launched My LIC and Super Sales Sathi mobile applications. Now we are moving on to the next article. So we are moving towards the next article now. Exactly. So now my dear friends, let's move ahead. So in order to understand this My LIC and Super Sales Sathi, let's try to think it like a Zomato model. A Zomato model, my dear friends. On the Zomato, what happens? Like you are a customer, right? And there is a X restaurant. You like the X restaurant food really well. You are just in love with the food of that X restaurant, right? So as a customer, what you do, you order the food, and Zomato, basically what Zomato does is it takes the food from that restaurant and it provides you the food, supplies you the food, right? So basically you are having Zomato app, that particular restaurant is also having the Zomato app, but the interface of the apps is quite different for the at the customer end and the supplier end, right? So basically, although there is one ecosystem, but there are two interfaces for the different parties, right? Similarly, my dear friends, for the insurance agents in the insurance industry, when you want as a customer, you want to see the different plans which are being provided by the different insurance companies, you are having the My LIC, right? And then there are agents who are basically providing you the policies, right? And these agents also need a part where basically they are able to, filter out all the details, filter out all the important details, instructions, and the different policies of the different organizations. So for them, we are having the super sales साथी, सुपर सेल साथी, जो सेल एजेंट का साथी है, सुपर सेल साथी, दैट्स इट. That is the complete news. If you are able to understand this, then let me tell you that everything is clear to you. Nothing else is required. Let's try to see. So LIC has launched two mobile applications, My LIC for customers and Super Sales Sathi for the sales intermediaries. What it will be doing? It will be enhancing digital accessibility and the service efficiency. So there will be digital accessibility and the service efficiency that they will be enhancing together, right? My LIC Super Sales Sathi. It will be improving the customer experience, reduce the paperwork, and strengthening LIC's competitiveness in the life insurance sector. Right now, what exactly was happening when I want to purchase any policy, insurance policy, what I need to do? I have to visit the company, I have to visit their correspondents, I have to visit their different agents. So there are a lot of visits. Now, the My LIC has just made my work very easy. I am not required to go anywhere. I will just open the app and then I will see. Just like you open your app of the bank, net banking, right, or the Zomato for ordering the food, in the same way I will be opening that My LIC app. I will be see that, okay, what is the different policy available as per my requirement, and I can just order the policy. That's it. That's how it is going to work, right? So it is as easy. So My LIC provides 360-degree digital platform integrating policy servicing, claim support, payments, documentation, and the customer engagement. What are the different key features? Enables users to view and manage insurance portfolios, allows instant premium payments and real-time tracking of policy benefits, provide paperless policy loan facility, online policy updates, supports revival of lapsed policies through the digital mode. Super Sathi Sales Sathi क्या करेगा, my dear friends? It will be supporting intermediaries with the tools for onboarding, marketing insights, performance tracking, customer insights, and the policy servicing. So they will be able to see that, okay, what are the demands of the customers, what are the market insight, which are the policies that are basically more on the demand, what is the performance of the different policies, how exactly they are being tracked, how exactly their claim support is all about. So all these data will be available on the Super Sales Sathi. Who needs such kind of analysis? The agent needs such kind of analysis, right? And what do you want? You just want the catalog or the list of the product which is providing all the details of all these schemes, right? So that's what we have to understand here. Clear to everyone? And my dear friends, here both the applications are basically built on LIC's DIVE platform. What is a DIVE platform? It is digital innovation and value enhancements. तो हमने यहाँ पे innovation भी किया है and we are enhancing the value as well for the customers as well as the sales sathis. So basically digital innovation and value enhancement is the right answer. Clear to everyone? Clear to everyone? Let's try to answer the question. So LIC Insurance Corporation has launched two mobile applications. What are the name? My LIC and Sales Sathi. Super Sales Sathi for the sales intermediaries to enhance digital accessibility and service efficiency. Now, what is the name of the app which will be providing 360-degree digital platform integrating policy servicing? That will be My LIC. And when it comes to the support intermediaries with the digital tools for onboarding, marketing insights, what exactly it will be? It will be Super Sales Adi. Absolutely right. Both applications are built on LIC's which platform? Dive platform. What is the Dive platform? Digital innovation. Digital innovation and value enhancement. Absolutely right. Clear to everyone? My dear future RBI Grade B officers, clear? Let's move on to the next article. FIUND and SEBI sign MOU to combat money laundering. So, my dear friends, let's try to understand this again with the help of a different example. So, you know that so many times we hear that there was an attack in our country which disturbed the peace of the nation, right? And what happens is the intelligence services say that we were having the information that yes, the attack is going to happen, right? But the local police was working in the different tangents, right? Just I am giving you a kind of example, right? Don't take my words otherwise, just try to understand, right? So the intelligence agency is already having a good intelligence network, and they are having the secret information that yes, this attack is going to happen in that area. But the local police is basically working across the different parameters, right, on the different tangents. So what will happen? The attack will happen, right? Why so? Because the coordination between the local police and the intelligence organization was not there. So they were not going hand in hand with each other, right? They were quite separate. So what exactly and how exactly this is related to this particular news article? Let me tell you that FIUND, let's try to understand this. FIUND is basically that intelligence organization of the country which is having that intelligence network and intelligence secret information. And SEBI is at market police. You all know SEBI is a market watchdog, right? So SEBI is at market police. So what if there is a proper coherence and cooperation between these two organizations? What will happen? Can anybody tell me what will happen in that scenario? They will be able to identify that where exactly this money laundering things are taking place, where is the speculation, manipulations are taking place. We can just combat such kind of events which are existing, right, which are basically happening. So that is why an MOU has been signed between FIUND and SEBI to combat money laundering. Okay, FIUND, Financial Intelligence Unit India, and the Security Exchange Board of India signed an MOU to strengthen cooperation against money laundering and the financial crimes. तो फाइनेंशियल क्राइम्स और मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग एक्टिविटीज़ को रोकने के लिए दे हैव कम अप विद दिस इनिशिएटिव एंड दे हैव साइंड दिस MOU. Clear to everyone? So what they will be doing, they will be exchanging the information with each other. They will be working together in order to see that how exactly things are taking place and how we can stop these crimes. So FIUND will be sharing information with SEBI, SEBI will be sharing information with FIUND, and that's how there will be more coherence. So when it comes to FIUND, it is the central national agency which receives, processes, analyzes and disseminates information related to the suspected financial transactions. So basically this is the kind of that intelligence bureau of the country in terms of the financial transactions, where exactly these financial transactions which are suspected are taking place, and they will be coordinating the efforts against the money laundering and financing of the terrorism. So we want to ensure that there is not such kind of activities taking place. Similarly, my dear friends, as this MOU has been signed between FIUND and SEBI, similar kind of MOU was signed between FIUND and PFRDA to combat money laundering and financial crimes, right? And again, both the institutions will be sharing the information, strengthening cooperation between the two agencies. They will be including conducting outreach and training programs to improve anti-money laundering and combating financing of the terrorism. So basically you can remember FIUND has basically signed an MOU with SEBI and PFRDA. Clear to everyone? Now moving ahead. So my dear friends, recently the Federal Chancellor of Austria was on a visit to India. And when such high authority from the other countries visited India, so always you can see that there is a kind of conference, there are some MOUs. So that's why some MOUs have been signed between India and Austria. For example, they have decided to collaborate in the film industry, joint productions, cultural exchanges. They are focusing on the fast tracking mechanism to address issues faced by companies and investors, improving ease of doing business between the two countries. They have signed a letter of intent on cooperation in the military matters also. They are also working jointly on the terrorism, right? How we can counter the terrorism. Then on the food safety also we are having an MOU with them. So these are the different MOUs which have been signed between India and Austria. Clear to all of you? Now let's move ahead. So please tell me the name of the organization which has signed an MOU with the FIUND to combat money laundering. These are two organizations. Here in the first part, right answer is SEBI. In the second part, right answer will be, so PFRD has already been given here. The right answer will be FIUND. That is the right answer. FIUND is the right answer. Clear? So, outcome of the visit of Federal Chancellor of which country to India? So, Austria. Federal Chancellor of Austria visited India, right? And these were the different agreements on the film, on the counter-terrorism, on the food safety, on the companies, and on the ease of doing business. So there are different MOUs that have been signed. Okay. Now, my dear friends, moving ahead to the first BRICS Health Working Group meeting 2026 held in New Delhi. So recently, the very first BRICS Health Working Group meeting 2026 was held in New Delhi, and the name of the ministry which chaired this group was Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Now guys, why exactly the meeting is taking place in New Delhi? A very major reason is there. Why? Because India is having the chairmanship of BRICS for this year. Clear? And that is why all these events will be hosted by India. So Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has chaired the first BRICS Health Working Group meeting which was held in New Delhi, right? And different stakeholders of the BRICS basically joined, right? So as you can see that India as BRICS chair for 2026 adopted a theme. See guys, whenever a particular country, whenever country host a particular meeting or chairing a particular organization, there is always a theme. But you know that India is so smart. India is really so smart. As I can see that all the smart people are also there who are watching me right now through the YouTube, right? So let me tell you here what exactly it is. See my dear friends. See my dear friends. So basically the meeting is of BRICS. India has got the chairmanship of BRICS only, and the theme of the India's chair for 2026 is also BRICS, where BRICS stands for Building for Resilience, Innovation, Cooperation and Sustainability. BRICS. BRICS. Just remember this and you are able to, you are not even required to remember this, right? Because it is BRICS only. Building for Resilience, Innovation, Cooperation and Sustainability. And this year, basically here they are having two priority areas like BRICS mission for the healthy lifestyles and promotion of mental health and wellness. That's all from here. Now the meeting finalized priority deliverables and included technical meetings and ministerial level discussions under the BRICS Health Track 2026. Clear? Now my dear friends, you must be having a question in your mind, sir, what exactly is BRICS? What exactly the BRICS is all about, right? So guys, let us take an example. You know, in our college days, there was always a kind of, that a very intelligent group, right? Which basically first come together and then they are basically adding members to their group more. Let's take an example. There were 4 friends who were really interested in doing dramatics, right? And they don't wanted to join any other group. So they created their own group. Basically, they saw that there is a dominance of the other groups, right? But we want to create our own group. So they basically created their own group, and they keep on adding members to their group, right? And what happens is that every year one member basically gets the chairmanship of the group, right? So basically that's how this is all about. BRICS. Let me tell you that earlier it was the BRIC, Brazil, Russia, India, and China. These were the four those intelligent friends who came together. Why? Because Western countries' dominance was really increasing. So they created their own group, that is BRIC. And later on, South Africa joined India also there. So that's how it becomes BRICS. But after that, they decided that we are not going to change the acronym. See, we are adding members, but it doesn't mean that always we are adding a letter somewhere else. No. So we are not adding any letter, but yes, we are adding the members. So what is BRICS? BRICS is a group of 11 emerging markets and developing countries right now. So you can see, started from the 4, then South Africa added in 2010, and then we are having now 11 members, which includes Brazil, China, Egypt, Ethiopia, India, Indonesia. The latest member is Indonesia, my dear friends. Iran, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, and the United Arab Emirates. BRIC की बात करें, it was formalized in 2006 during the meeting of foreign ministers on the sidelines of UN General Assembly in New York, right? So that's when the BRICS was basically established, which served as a platform for consultation and cooperation on global and regional political economic issues. So these were the things which they were basically discussing. So where exactly these college friends first meet for a meeting? So basically the first meeting, their first official meet was held in 2009 in Yekaterinburg, Russia. So Russia basically hosted that particular meeting, and South Africa was added in 2010, forming BRIC to BRICS. In the third BRICS summit, it participated in Sanya in 2011. Now, my dear friends, after that in January 24, some new members joined, which are named as Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, UAE. And then in 2025, we saw some partner countries, right? They are partner countries, which includes Belarus, Bolivia, Kazakhstan, Cuba, Malaysia, Nigeria, Thailand, Uganda, Uzbekistan, and Vietnam. So these are the countries which have basically came after that. Are you guys clear? I don't think I can explain you BRICS in a more beautiful manner than this. Like we have tried to make it as much easy as possible, the way we can. Please give me a thumbs up in the chat box. Are you guys able to understand about the BRICS? Please remember the theme is also very important. India is getting that particular chairmanship. So now let's try to answer the question. So the Dash chaired the first BRICS Health Working Group meeting held in Dash. What is the name? Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. ठीक है, where exactly it was held? New Delhi, India में हुई, right? Now which country has taken the chair? India has taken the chair. Now tell me that what is the theme? The theme is BRICS only. Building resilience, innovation, cooperation, right? Clear? And what exactly S stands for? Sustainability. Absolutely right. So well done, Kashish, Harshal, Pranav, Material Chair, Pranav, and all the people who have basically given me the answers correctly. I cannot take the name of all the people, but I am really glad to see all of you giving me the answers. Now, my dear friends, please move ahead. So BRICS. So guys, see the number of members right now in the BRICS, how you can remember. See, earlier there were only 4 people, right? Now they have created their own cricket team. Now they have created their own cricket team, and in cricket team how many members are there? 11 members are there. So there are 11 emerging markets and developing countries which are the part of the BRICS, right? BRIC was formalized in which year? 2006. The UN General Assembly was held in New York. On the sidelines of that summit only they basically created this. So the first summit was held in which year? Quickly tell me. And it was held in where? It was held in Russia. Now quickly tell me in the chat box that what exactly is the year in which the first meeting took place, the first BRICS summit. So I can see everybody saying 2009, absolutely right. Now South Africa was added in which year? 2010. And it basically participated in the third BRICS summit. And now my dear friends, please tell me the name of the recent member, the latest member of the BRICS. What is the name of the latest member? It's Indonesia. Indonesia is the right answer. So we are done with this article. Let's move ahead. UPI transactions reached 228.5 billion in 2025 as per Worldline report. So my dear friends, recently Worldline, which is a European leader in the payment services, has released its annual report, that is India Digital Payment Report year 2025 in review. Now why exactly we have mentioned here European? Let me tell you my dear friends that last year you can see that a particular company was there which basically provided the sovereign rating to the India, right? And it basically enhanced the India's rating. But the question was that this company which has rated India is from which country? That company is from which country, right? And that was basically Japan was the right answer. Similarly, there can be a question here also. So that's why we have provided to you that Worldline is a European leader. Clear? So that is why we have provided you this information. So every information that we are providing to you in the current affairs chapter is having a altogether a valid reason to be included in the article. Clear to everyone? I can see that yes, Harshal is in Japan. Yes, the people who have given the last year paper, they must remember this kind of question was there, right? Not the kind, but this question was there. I have told you exact question. See my dear friends, here I just don't want that I am just teaching you the report or the scheme or any current affair. Irrespective of the demand of the examination, no. We have to focus on the PYQs. Let me tell you very clearly, PYQs are the Brahmastras for all of you. To understand that what kind of question can be asked in the exam, how it can be asked, on what dimension it can be asked, and from which area it can be asked. That is why it is very important. It definitely Herschel, like you, there were so many people who are not aware about the company. And see guys, let me tell you that this is a quite unconventional question, right? Now let's come back to this news article. We are talking a report here. We are working a report. See guys, see the beauty of the session. We have covered the report. We have covered the scheme. We have covered the ESI current affairs. So that's how we are having a balanced meal. A balanced meal of current affairs, right? And I hope that you are liking this way where we are not covering all these separately, because again in the examination also you will see that the questions will be asked collectively. There will be no separate question on the scheme, no separate question on the reports, right? We first batches of 10 questions where we are having questions from the scheme, the next batches of 10 questions from the reports. It is not going to work like that in the examination. So we have to read the things, cover the things accordingly, right? So that we are preparing ourselves for the examination. Clear? So now my dear friends, let's move ahead. When it comes to this report, it highlights a transformative year for the country's digital payment ecosystem, right? So the first key finding of this particular article is that the UPI Unified Payment Interface has recorded 228.5 billion transactions in 2025. Please remember this number, this is very important. 228.5 billion transactions we have seen, UPI transactions in 2025, which has marked a 33% increase from the previous year. The total transaction value has reached rupees 299.74 trillion, which reinforced UPI as the primary mode of everyday payments in India. Average ticket size has declined by 9%, while merchant ATS fell to 592, indicating growing use of low value routine payments. Is it really required to remember? Answer is no, right? This data is important. The total transaction value, what was the total, how many transactions have been recorded in 2025, that is very important. Okay, remember 228 and 299. Now percent to merchant transactions has improved by 34%. Digital payment infrastructure has also expanded. UPI QR codes increased 15%. Credit card transactions has grown by 27%. Online credit card spending has reached 14.53 trillion. Bharat Bill Pay transactions. So guys, so much of the data is there. But let me tell you here that when you will be revising this data, solving more questions on that, and solving and also revising and analyzing that which data you are retaining and which you are not. So after doing the puncture analysis, you will be able to understand that okay, that's how I can basically cover the things. Clear everyone? Clear everyone? Okay, so now let's revise these details. So guys, Worldline has released this particular report, and 228.5 billion transactions were there in the UPI. The amount was 299.74 trillion. Average ticket size was increased by 9%. Then percent to merchant 34%, UPI QR code 15%, 14.53 trillion were total online credit card spending. Right, let's try to solve the questions. So UPI transactions has reached dash value. What is that record value? 228.5 billion transactions. Absolutely right. So 228.5 billion transactions is the right answer. Making a dash percent increase. What is that percentage increase from the previous year? Quickly tell me in the chat box. That's what I want from all of you. We have covered this. What is the percentage increase? I know that you guys will be telling me that sir, in the total transaction value we are having 299 trillion, right? But I want from all of you that what was the percentage increase? That was 33%. Absolutely right. Well done. So well done, Harshal, Kashish, Pranav, Srishti, all the people who have given the right answer. As 15 people are watching the session, guys, please ensure all of you 15 are giving the answer. See, it is not going to help me out. It is going to help you out only. If you will be giving the answer on the regular basis, you will try to see that, okay, this is the mirror. It will show you a mirror that at what level you are right now, okay. Now when it comes to the ATS, it is declined by 9%. The digital payment infrastructure has expanded the UPI QR codes, rising what percentage to 731.38. What will be the right answer? So material share is saying 15%. Kashish is saying 9%. Harshal is saying 9%. So guys, to the last question, I am asking you the question. The UPI QR codes rising dash percentage to 731.38. What will be the right answer? So absolutely right. The right answer will be 15%. Absolutely right. Tanuja and one more person was there who has given the right answer. That is material share. Well done. Now, my dear friends, let's move on to the next article. So, MSME Ministry signs MOU with the NICDC Logistics Data Services. NICDC Logistics Service Data Services, guys. Okay, let's try to understand this. Let's take an example that you want to go. Let's take an example. You are in city X, right? And there is a city Y. So there are two scenarios the way you can go. First is what that you will be as city wise totally unknown to you. What exactly you will be doing? Please tell me in the chat box first. What exactly you will be doing? You will be checking on the Google map, right? You will be seeing that okay, what is the direction, how I can navigate from city X to city Y, right? Do you guys agree with me? So this is the one plan. The other plan can be that you are just going out and you are just thinking like okay, so I will be on the right direction, right? But when you will see that okay, oh my god, I have got the wrong track, and only after that you will be able to analyze that yes, we are having that particular track, right? And I would have been in this track, then only I would have reached the information by that particular time. Clear? So my dear friend, let me tell you, the same kind of issue was happening with the MSMEs. What was happening is that these MSMEs were basically sending their articles, right? And they were not analyzing. These people, these MSMEs were not exactly analyzing that why exactly there is a delay in the part till the time the delay was happening. So basically what they have to do is, if they are already having a set logistical network, so definitely there will be less delays, and if there would be a delay, you already know that a delay is going to happen. So you can take another route in order to make sure that the parcel reaches safely, like you do in the Google map. If you see that, okay, in the one on the one track there is a lot of red light, right? So you will basically take the another route so that you are reaching on time. Same thing we are talking about the MSME. So MSME ministry has signed MOU with the NICDC Logistic Data Services, which provides such kind of services which will be helping the parcels to reach on time without any delay. And that is why this MOU has been signed, to improve the logistic efficiency and enable data driven policy making in the logistics industry. NLDS is basically the national NICDC Logistic Data Services Limited is the digital and data arm of the National Industrial Corridor Development Corporation. It is a data arm of National Industrial Corridor Development Corporation and functions under the National Industrial Corridor Development and Implementation Trust. So NICDIT. Okay. So NLDS is the digital and data arm of the NICDC, and it functions as the National Industrial Corridor Development and Implementation Trust. Right? The collaboration aims to create a digital framework for seamless data exchange through API based integration. So they will be providing API based integration, allow the ministry to use real time logistic data for better decision making. So it will also help the ministry also, so that how exactly we can make better decisions and improve the supply chain efficiency in our country. Then the initiative is expected to help MSMEs reduce inefficiencies, optimize costs, and enhance competitiveness in domestic and global markets. Clear to everyone? So what is the name of that organization with which the Ministry of MSME has signed this MOU? The ministry has signed this MOU. That is NICDC Logistics Limited. Absolutely right. Now let's move on to the next article. The seed scheme records major expansion for D&T communities in 25-26. Exactly right. So my dear friends, let me tell you that the seed scheme has recorded a major expansion for D&T community. Who are these D&T? So these are the denotified tribes, right? And what exactly SEED stands for? It stands for Scheme for Economic Empowerment. And who are being empowered? These denotified tribes are being empowered. So what exactly we provide them? See my dear friends, let's take an example that there is a tree, right? There is a tree which is having no roots. It is not having any kind of root, right? And we want to empower that tree. Right now that tree is, quite a sukha tree. It is not having any fruits. It is not having any leaf. It is a very dry tree. We want to empower that tree. How can we do so? We are providing them three different roots. For example, we are providing the root. These three roots. One is the educational root. Second is livelihood root. Third is health root, which can really make the difference in the life of that tree. Now let's try to take an example that this tree is basically the different denotified tribes which are existing in our country, and we want to empower them. So we have basically provided a better support by providing them root based support. How? By providing them educational empowerment, right? By giving the books, by providing lectures to them, by providing livelihood component, by health component, by working on their health, right? So that's how you can see that the seed scheme has recorded the major expansion. How? Now let's move on to the article. So Department of Social Justice and Empowerment through the Development and Welfare Board for the denotified nomadic and semi-nomadic communities reported significant performance under the Scheme for Economic Empowerment of DNTs in fiscal year 25-26. Okay, Now the performance across the different components was in the educational empowerment component, 26.75 crore has been disbursed. In the livelihood component, 16 crore. In the health component, 73,569 have been, this much number of Ayushman Bharat cards have been issued. Clear to everyone? Clear to everyone? Now let's try to solve the questions. So guys, MSME Ministry signs MOU with the NICDC Logistics Data Services, absolutely right. And NLDS is the digital and data arm of the NICDC, that is National Industrial Corridor Development Corporation. That's all. Moving ahead to the seed scheme, right? So the seed scheme, the Department of Social Justice and Empowerment through the development of Welfare Board for denotified nomadic and semi-nomadic communities reported significant performance under the which scheme? Under the SEED. What exactly SEED stands for? Scheme for Economic Empowerment of Denotified Tribes. That is the right answer. And now, my dear friends, what are the three components here? One component was health, one component was education, and one was livelihood. So here it is, basically education will be here and livelihood will be here. Clear to everyone? My dear future or RBI officers, are you guys enjoying the session? Please tell me in the chat box. Are you enjoying the session or not? Please show some energy in the chat box. And I would say definitely that the way we are covering the topics, right? The way we are covering these topics, so not even just for the phase 1 and not even for the phase 2 objective, but for the descriptive paper also, now you will be able to retain these examples, and these examples are really going to help you out in the examination point of view, right? Let me give another analogy how you can retain these, three components of the seed scheme. Just remember that what are the three things? There are three things. If they are not there, then the life of the people will be hell. Right? The life of the people will be hell. What exactly health stands for? Health, education, livelihood. That's it. So good evening, Fruity. You are late today, right? See, the paper is quite very near and nobody of you can afford to come late in the class. My dear friends, please prioritize your study before any other thing from the examination point of view. Okay? So I hope that you guys are clear. The life will be hell if these HEL is not there, and these are the three basic, the parameters, the components of the seed scheme. Absolutely right. Now let's move on to the next part. The cabinet has approved the continuation of Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana 3 till March 2028. Okay. So now, my dear friends, let's try to understand this. See, I am having a very, very interesting example for the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. Now, what exactly that Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana is all about? Let me tell you here a very important point. Let's take an example that there is a human body. ठीक है? There is a human body, right? There is a human body, and there are so many vital organs, right, in the human body. There are so many vital organs in the whole human body, right? And all these organs are being connected through the veins, through the vessels, right? All these are connected. Now let's take an example. So that all these are able to work in a coherence and in a coordinated manner, they need the blood vessels. When the heart will be pumping in and pumping out the blood through all these blood vessels to all the organs, then only we are going to survive. Please tell me yes or no. Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong? Please tell me here. If we are able to supply the blood to all these organs, then only they are going to work properly. Correct? Let us take an example, my dear friends. This human body is basically our own country. This human body is basically our country, right? And these blood vessels are basically the roads which are connecting these organs. These blood vessels are the roads which are connecting these organs. Now please tell me, how much is there importance of roads in the country? Are you guys able to understand? Are you guys able to understand now? So let me tell you here that for the better connectivity for all these vital organs of the body, or we would say the whole country, basically government of India decided that we should focus on these blood vessels who are carrying the blood. That means the roads on which we can commute from one place to another, which will be connecting the different places. If you want to go to school from your home, or if you want to go to hospital from your school, there must be connectivity with that, right? Between that, only then you will be able to go. That's where these Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana was being planned. Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana was being planned basically in order to provide this kind of all-weather connectivity to the people who are living in the villages. Clear? Because the people in the urban areas are already having these blood vessels, but the village areas people are not having the blood vessels. Clear? I hope that this analogy is really going to help you out and you are never going to retain this information from exam point of view, because there is nothing to retain now. You have understood the importance of the roads in the nation. And let me tell you, my dear friends, that Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana was being launched in year 2000 by the government of India, considering this point. And let me tell you that there are 4 phases of the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. And let me tell you here that the third phase, the phase number 3 of the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana timeline has been continued and expanded from 2025 to March 2028. Earlier the timeline was till March 2025, now it has been extended to March 2028. The scheme focuses on consolidation of the thorough routes and major rural linking, connecting habitations to the Grameen agriculture market, higher secondary schools and the hospitals. As I told you, the vital organs of the body should be connected with the blood vessels, right? That's how all these vital organs of our society must be connected with each other, so that there is easy communication between them. And as we are already only working on the Grameen areas in the villages, so that's why Ministry of Rural Development is here going to work. Clear to everyone? Clear to everyone? Now moving ahead, the revised total outlay. What is the revised total outlay? It is 83,977 crore. It has been increased from rupees 80,250 crores. Now what are the key approvals? The timeline has been extended from March 2020 till March 2028. See, earlier it was March 2025. So let me tell you again here that there are some different timelines for the different areas. How? For the roads and bridges in the plain areas, see, in the plain and hilly areas, it should be completed by March 2028. For the bridges in the hilly areas, see, when it comes to the roads plus bridges in the plain areas, if it is, so basically it is 2028. But if, and also the roads in the hilly areas also, but if you want to create a bridge in the hilly area, it is really requiring a lot of time. So that's why we have extended the timeline to 2029 for the completion of bridges in the hilly areas. And the works which were already been sanctioned before 31st March 2025, but they were not yet awarded, can now be taken up for tendering and awarding. Right? There were 161 longspan bridges with an estimated cost of 961 crore pending sanction, but on already approved cost alignments will be sanctioned and tendered awarded. Right? So all such kind of projects which were being provided, and the 161 longspan bridges having the estimated cost of 961 crores pending sanction, but on already approved road alignments will be sanctioned and tendered awarded. Clear? Now let's try to cover the different phases of Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. See guys, the very first one was launched on 25th December 2000 by Ministry of Rural Development to ensure all weather connectivity to previously unconnected rural habitations. So जो unconnected rural habitations थी, we are providing them all weather connectivity, right? So 25 years of the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana was also been marked last year. Now let's move on to the phase 1. Phase 1 was launched in 2000. Phase 1 of the program served as a flagship initiative to provide all the weather road connectivity. See guys, all the weather road connectivity is being served through this flagship initiative of Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana 1. ठीक है, it established the foundation for universal rural access by linking villages with the markets, educations and health care facilities. So all these three different stakeholders, market, institution, the educational institution and the healthcare for facilities, all these are being connected together, and the road connectivity for a total of 1,63,339 rural habitations have been sanctioned nationwide under phase 1. See guys, you can see that phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, there are 4 phases. Phase 1 was launched in 2000, then came the phase 2 in 2013, which basically focused on strengthening and consolidating the existing rural road network. So basically what happened is, they created the roads some earlier as well and new roads as well. But what about their maintenance? So they have decided to strengthen and consolidate the existing rural road network. Clear? It prioritized the upgradation of economically important routes linking rural markets, growth centers, service hubs with the objective of improving transportation efficiency and accelerating rural economic development. Now the next part is phase 3, that is 2019, which focused on 1,25,000 km of the through roads and major rural links to strengthen the connectivity between rural habitations and key socio-economic institutions. So whatever the key socio-economic institutions are there and the rural network, so we are going to connect all of them, right, so that people can go from that one place to the another. Clear? What is the total length of the roads that will be done under this? 1,25,000 kilometers. Absolutely right. Now moving to the next part, phase 4. So phase 1 2000, phase 2 2013, phase 3 2019. Now phase 4 in 2024. Clear? So now when it comes to the phase 2 for 2024, total road length of 62,500 kilometers is proposed to be constructed during the implementation period. So जो हमारा implementation period है, उसी period के दौरान इसको propose किया गया कि इसको हमें create करना होगा. The total road length is 62,500 kilometers. It will be providing with the outlay of 70,125 crores. It aims to provide all-weather road connectivity to 25,000 unconnected rural habitations. ठीक है जी. So it aims to provide all-weather road connectivity to 25,000 unconnected rural habitations based on census 2011 population. Now habitats with a population of 500 and above in the plain areas, 250 and above in the northeastern Himalayan areas, habitation located in special category states like including tribal regions, aspirational districts, blocks and the desert areas. Clear to you? So phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. Phase 1 for the all-weather connectivity, phase 2 was for strengthening and consolidating the existing networks. The stage 3 was of focusing on upgrading 1,25,000 kilometers through routes and connecting them with the socio-economic institutions of the villages. And phase 4 is 2024. This one on the screen, right? Is it clear to everyone? Let's try to solve the MCQs quickly. Do you guys again want to see all the details? See guys, we have already discussed and remember all these details in a very detailed manner, right? So please remember all these details again. Let me again tell you, 2028 is the timeline by which they are basically extending it from March 2025. 83,977 crores is the total outlay. They will be focusing on the roads and bridges in the bridges and hilly areas. First long span bridge with an estimated count of 961 crore rupees. ठीक है, तो बाकी चीज़ें हम दोस्तों क्लियर कर लेंगे. अब आते हैं क्वेश्चन की तरफ. सो प्लीज टेल मी क्विकली, द कैबिनेट अप्रूव्ड द कंटिन्यूएशन ऑफ प्रधानमंत्री ग्राम सड़क योजना टिल विच ईयर? 2028. Absolutely right. The Union Cabinet has approved the continuation of Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana 3 beyond March 2025. Up to March 2028. Moving ahead, the scheme is under the Ministry of Rural Development. The total revised outlay will be, what is the total revised outlay? Give me a rough figure, which will be helping you to retain this information from exam point of view. Can you please give me that rough figure? It is around 83977 crores, around 84,000 crores. Absolutely right. The timeline has been extended till dash for the completion of roads and bridges in plain areas and road in hilly areas. So I already told you it will be 2028, but for the bridges in the hilly areas, it will be 2029. Now please tell me the number of long span bridges which are being provided with an estimated cost of rupees 961 crore. Pending sanction but on already approved road alignments. What is that? So how many long span bridges are there? 161. Moving at Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana launched on 25th of December 2000 by Ministry of Rural Development, right? Phase 1 was launched in which year? 2000. What exactly it provides? It provides dash connectivity, all weather connectivity. Now phase 2 in 2013 for strengthening and consolidating the rural roads. Phase 3 in 2019. So what is that particular length of the road on which it will be working on? That is 1,25,000. Now please tell me phase 4 2024. The total road length will be 62,500 kilometers. Now moving ahead, when it comes to the all weather road connectivity to 25,000 unconnected and rural habitations based on charts 2011 population criteria. So habitat with a population of 500 and above in the plain areas, 250 and above in the urban areas. Clear to everyone? Are you guys able to remember all the details? Quickly tell me in the chat box. So my dear friends, we are now done with the 11 articles in the today's session. Exactly right. So my dear friends, before moving ahead, as we are continuously into the session for the last 1.5 hours, let's have a very quick break, right? And I will be back. And in the meantime, you guys can also have a glass of water. And then we can resume the session, right? So your break starts now. Right now the time is, in my watch, the time is 5:33. So all of you please make sure that you are coming back by 5:38. Clear? So my dear friends, the time is up. Are you guys back after the break? Please give me a thumbs up in the chat box so that we can start with the session. Please give me a thumbs up in the chat box if you guys are back so that we can resume this session. All set, everybody back. Okay, so we are good to go. So the previous scheme was really very easy, right? The Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, and everybody is able to answer the questions on the same, right? Let's move ahead. Let's move ahead to the next part. Now we are moving on to the cabinet has approved 2% increase in the DA and DR. So what exactly it is? Let's try to understand this again with the help of an example. So guys, here what is the example? So see, when we were in the childhood, we were not having any source of income, right? At that point of time, we used to maintain something. Can anybody tell me that? What exactly it was? It was a piggy bank, right? It was a piggy bank. I don't know about you, but in our time there used to be a piggy bank, right? Now let me tell you guys, when we were in the childhood, we were not having an income. We were having a piggy bank, right? From where we can basically get the money for our some needs. Similarly, my dear friends, the people who are the old age people and now they are having no regular activity which can make them some money. So basically we have created a piggy bank for them, right? So this is basically for the people who have already retired, right? Now let me give you another example to make you understand in a more better manner, right? So this is, let's forget this example. So you all know that right now it's too much hot. It's too hot in the so many areas of the country, right? It's too hot in the so many areas of the country, and you guys are having the air conditioners in your room, right? You are having air conditioners in your room. So what happens is that whenever the temperature rises, you basically increase the cooling of the air conditioner, and whenever the temperature becomes little low, you basically decrease the cooling of the temperature, right? So whenever the increase in the temperature is taking place, temperature is rising, you are increasing the cooling, and when there is a decrease in the temperature in the climate, so you also reduce the cooling impact of the air conditioner. Do you agree with me? So basically what happens is, in the economy, when there is an increase in the prices, right, at that point of time you need that kind of adjustment that you did with your AC remote by increasing or decreasing the cooling impact, right? So that's what is called the DA or the DR. Clear? Basically, so that the purchasing capability, the purchasing power of the people who are getting the regular salaries, so against the inflation, we are able to maintain their purchasing power. That's why we provide them the dearness allowance and the dearness relief. Let me tell you in a very simple words, dearness allowance is for that person who is already working, who is in the working, and dearness relief is for the person who is retired. Clear? If you are working, you will be getting now DA, and the person, for example, might be your father, your mother, your grandfather who are retired, so they are getting the dearness relief because they were getting the pension, and as a part of the pension, again due to the inflation also, their pension amount can become little less. So for providing that adjustment with that you did with your cooling, in the AC wala example, same thing government tries to do by providing them the dearness relief. And let me tell you that considering the existing scenario, Government of India decided to increase this by 2%. So earlier you were increasing or decreasing the temperature by 2 degree in your room, right? So similarly, in this room of economy, government of India has basically increased the percentage by 2%. So let's try to understand this. Union Cabinet approved an additional installment of the dearness allowance for the central government employees and the dearness relief for the pensioners effective from 1st January 2026. So please remember the date from which it will be applicable. The increase is 2% over the existing rate of 58% of the basic pay or the pension to compensate for the price rise. So basically we are compensating the price rise. What is the price rise? It is the inflation, right? So earlier it was 58%, the DA was 58%, now it is become 60%. And how exactly it is going to cause the exchequer? That will be rupees 6,791.24 crores. The decision will benefit about 50.46 lakh central government employees and 68.27 lakh pensioners. That is the right answer. Clear to everyone? So what is that percentage of DA or DR that has been increased by the government of India for helping and compensating for the price rise? That is 2%. And what is the implementation date for that? 1st January 2026. That's all. That's all from this news article. Now let's move on to the next article. Cabinet approves creation of Bharat Maritime Insurance Pool, BMI pool. So my dear friends, Cabinet has approved the creation of a Bharat Maritime Insurance Pool. Now what exactly this Bharat Maritime Insurance Pool? Let us again try to have an example. Let's take an example that there are 10 people. There are 10 friends who are going for a trip. Let's take an example, they are going to trek, right? They are going to trek, any famous trek. You can just assume on your own, right? I am marking it as X, right? So that trek X, people are going to trek X, right? So basically there is a risk that anything can happen to any one of them, right? So instead of having such kind of mindset that one person will be bearing the risk or the every person will be bearing the risk for their own, so what they decided to do is that, see, that the probability of all the 10 people getting impacted is quite low. Any 1, 2, 3 or 4 of them might get sick during the trek, right? So basically what they did is they pooled some money. Sorry my dear friends, yeah. So they pooled some money, they make a pool of a money, right? And they said that okay, if anyone is getting impacted, we will be using the amount from that particular pool to help that friend. That's it. Understanding the point? Are you guys getting the point? So right now what is happening is they are not dependent on any other insurer. Let's take an example that earlier what was happening, that one of the person was having the insurance from another insurance company, that if something happens to me, you will be taking care of me, right? And that insurance is external company. Let's take an example, there is a the weather got off during the trek, there is a snowstorm coming way, right? And during that chaotic situation, that insurer of your, he himself run away from the situation. See, I am just saving myself, I cannot help you out during this situation, right? So this will be a problematic situation for all these people, and specifically for that person who was basically dependent on the insurance from the outside, right? Let me tell you now, let me connect this now for all of you. So what was happening is, in the India's maritime industry, there are so many ships. So many ships. Let's take an example. These ships are these friends, right? So there were so many ships having the insurance from any other organization, some from the Indian organization, some from the foreign organization, right? And they were dependent on some different stakeholders. And you know what was happening is, right, when it was about the time of the claim, so basically these insurance organizations were shifting the blame to each other, right? So there was not problem, there was not a smooth claim support in this particular area. So now what exactly they decided to do, let me tell you this. So government also saw this. So government said that okay, do not worry. I am creating a pool for you. I am creating a pool for you, and as a part of which I will be supporting you. I will be providing you the insurance. For example, right now, let's take an example that there is a company which is a company of the Iran, right? There is an Iranian company which was providing the insurance. But right now in the warlike situation, Iran also said that okay, India, I'm not going to enter with you, right? You take care of your own. So similarly, such kind of thing was happening in the shipping industry. In the chaotic situation, warlike situation, the companies can just hang over their hands, right? So that's where government of India has came up and they said that okay, don't worry, we are pulling the pool. We are making this insurance pool for everyone and we will be providing the insurance. Do not worry about it. And we will be providing to you to not just the Indian ships. We will be providing to all the ships which are coming to India and which are going from India. That's it. Picture closed, chapter closed. Getting the point? Are you guys able to understand the example? So this is the real thing that I am telling you. You can see here that Union Cabinet has approved the creation of a domestic insurance pool. A pool has been created named as Bharat Maritime Insurance Pool, and there it has supported with the amount of 12,980 crore, a very important figure to be remembered from examination point of view. It will ensure continuous and affordable maritime insurance coverage for the vessels carrying cargo between international origins and the Indian ports, including through volatile maritime corridors. And let me tell you here that here, as a part of the insurance, everything will be covered. The ship will be covered, cargo will be covered, the people on the ship will be covered, right? So it will be strengthening self-reliance, ensure sanctions resilience, maintain continuity of the trade, and develop domestic expertise in marine underwriting, claims management, and the legal aspects. In all these areas, we will be having a very smooth process. It will cover Indian flagged or controlled vessels as well as the vessels destined to or originating from India. Who are destined to India or they are originating from India, all these vessels will be covered. Insurance policy, what they will be doing, they will be creating a corpus of rupees 950 crores. So insurance policies will be issued by a pool member insurers using a combined underwriting capacity of around rupees 950 crores. Are you guys able to understand it? Further, the pool will cover all maritime risk, as I already told you. Hull and machinery, that basically means the machinery of the ship, right? Then the cargo, the goods which are being carried out by this particular ship, protection and indemnity and war risk. So all these areas will be covered. A governing body will be constituted to oversee formation and the functioning of the pool. So for the better functioning of the pool, for the oversee formation, we will be having the global governing body as well. Clear to everyone? Are you guys getting the point? Please tell me in the chat box. So basically, with the help of the Bharat Maritime Insurance Pool, Government of India will be able to address the global volatility, geopolitical instability, reducing dependency on the external insurers. And let me tell you why exactly we are focusing on the maritime sector. It is quite very simple, guys, because it handles 70% of the country's trade by volume and 95% by value. So jitna bhi trade, whatever the trade India is doing, in terms of value, 95% of that is done through the maritime sector. 70% of the trade in volume is being done through this maritime sector. That is why it is so much important for us. Clear? Clear to everyone? Are you guys ready to give me the answer in the chat box? Now let's move ahead to the next part. So quick recall is here. Cabinet has approved -% increase in DADR, that is 2%. The increase is 2% over the existing rate of 58%. Cabinet has approved the creation of Bharat Maritime Insurance Pool. So Government of India has provided the sovereign guarantee of how much amount? 12,980 crore rupees. Then insurance policies will be issuing by pool member insurers using a combined underwriting capacity of around what amount? 950 crore rupees. The pool will cover all maritime risks including hull and machinery, cargo protection and indemnity and war risk. Dash will be constituted to oversee formation and functioning of the pool, that is governing body. Moving ahead, India's maritime sector handles what percentage of the country's trade by volume? Can anybody tell me that? It is 70%. Clear to everyone? Clear to everyone? Now let's move on to the next article. The Technology and Policy Expert Committee for AI Governance Support. The Technology and Policy Expert Committee for the AI Governance Support. So my dear friends, Minister of Electronics and Information Technology has constituted the Technology and Policy Expert Committee as a standing advisory body. Guys, we have already covered. You know that AIGEG wala news article where I told you that the ATC, Air Traffic Controller, will be that AIGEG group, and it will be having those radars and the expert engineer group, which was the TEPC, right, which was giving the advices to that group. So basically we are talking about the same TPEC committee here. It is the same TPEC committee. Now we are talking about the composition of that particular committee. So it will be chaired by the secretary of the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, right? So Secretary of MITI will be the chairperson of this committee, and then we are having some members, 5 members and 1 chairperson is there. Who are the 5 members? Professor B. Ravindran of IIT Madras, Rajat Moona of IIT Gandhinagar, representative of NASCOM DSCI MATE. That's it. My dear friends, recently we also covered about the NASCOM. So NASCOM head was changed. Can anybody tell me the name of the person? Can anybody tell me the name of the person? This is the homework for you because we have already covered it, and I gave you the homework that you will be solving the MCQs on the same. If you have not done it, so this is basically not good from your end. You are not fulfilling your promises that you made to me during the orientation class. Okay. So my dear friends, here we are having the TPEC committee. Minister of Electronics and Information Technology has constituted the Technology and Policy Expert Committee. We have already covered. The Secretary of MITI will be the chairperson. TPEC will provide technical, policy and strategic inputs, assist in policy design, regulatory measures, AI governance guideline. TPEC will ensure informed decision making. Under the AI governance infrastructure, AIGEG will set strategic direction and coordinate policy. That's all that we need to cover. Absolutely right, Kashish, Harshal and Pranav, that the right answer is UB Praveen. Absolutely right. Well done. So clear with this part. Let's move ahead to the next part. So my dear friends, next news article is on the Union Budget 26-27, which emphasized on the high value crop diversification in India. So basically during the budget now, so Government of India has announced in the budget that we will be focusing on the crop diversification, right, which will be providing high value to the farmers. Now what exactly these crops are, and what exactly is India's position and the current status of production, that's what we will be covering in this news article. So here the Union Budget has focused on promoting high value crops in the coastal, northeastern and the hilly regions in order to enhance the farm income and diversify output, right? So India is ranked second globally in the coconut production, supporting 30 million livelihoods including nearly 10 million farmers. Right? So we will be focusing on promoting high value crops, and India has been ranked second in the coconut production, right? A very, very important point. We are supporting 30 million livelihoods here. Now comes to the horticulture. So horticulture has contributed 37% of the gross value output in the agriculture and allied sectors. Please remember, 37% of the gross value output has been contributed by horticulture only in the agriculture and allied sectors. When it comes to horticulture production, the number is very important. The 370.74 million tons was the production of the country in 24-25. Horticulture production increased from 277.35 million to 370.74 million tons, and the production included 117.65 million tons of fruits, 217.8 million tons of vegetables, 35.29 million tons of other horticulture crops. So all these things are there. When it comes to the fruits, vegetables and potato, India was ranked second globally in production. And India is the world's largest producer of onion and shallots. So onion and shallots mein India is on the largest producer list, right? India is on second position in terms of vegetable and fruits. And then India is on the second position in terms of coconut production. And when it comes to the total production of the horticulture, it was 370.74 million tons. Absolutely right. Now, my dear friend, let me tell you that the data related to the cashew exports, walnut exports, it's not that much important from examination point of view. The such kind of data have not been seen. We have provided to you because that it was highlighted in the Press Information Bureau website, and also for the very first time we have seen such kind of data. But again, let me tell you that there is very less probability to be asked in the examination. So you can just go through the data, but don't try to memorize it for a, don't try to give more priority to this data. Clear hai ji sabhi ko? Let's now try to answer these questions quickly. So TPEC Committee for AI Governance Support. So the composition is chaired by Secretary of which ministry? Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. And they are having how many members? 5 members. TPC will provide technical policy and strategic inputs to support the functioning of AIGEG, right? That's all. Union Budget 26-27 emphasis high value crop diversification in India. So India, what was the rank of India in the coconut production? It was second, right? Horticulture contributed what percentage? 37% of the gross value output. And when it comes to horticulture production, what was the India's horticulture production? It was 370.74. Now, what is India's rank in terms of vegetable, fruit and potato? It is India is ranked second. And what is the name of the country which is the world's largest producer of onion and shallots? That is India. Absolutely right. So we are done with this. Everybody clear with this article? Quickly tell me in the chat box. Everybody clear? Okay, so everybody is clear. Let's move ahead. So World Bank Group has launched the Water Forward global platform for the water security. Right? So my dear friends, as a part of the Water Forward initiative launched by the World Bank, basically World Bank is trying to resolve the different issues which are related to the water. In some areas, water scarcity is there. In some areas, there are floods. In some areas, the governance in the water management is not good. So that is why we are focusing on the water. And you can see here, guys, that water basically supports health, food, system, energy, and about 1.7 billion jobs. But 4 billion people are in the water scarcity situation even now. And that is the reason that World Bank has decided to come up with such kind of initiative. World Bank with the multilateral development banks, development finance institutions and the partners has launched a Water Forward initiative under which they will be improving water security for 1 billion people by 2030. See my dear friends, let me tell you that World Bank on its own will be helping 400 million people by 2030. But when it is working with the other organizations, then it will be targeting 1 billion people. Clear? When it is working only on its own, 400 million people will be held by the Water Forward initiative of the World Bank Group, right? And the initiative targets over 1 billion people when they are aligned with the other institutes. Clear? So Fruity is saying India is the largest producer of coconut. So Fruity, let me tell you that this is the latest data that I have provided, which was there in the PIB, right? We will again look into it whether it is there or not, but let me tell you that this is the largest data. Sorry, this is the latest data which has been available on the PIB regarding the India's position in terms of coconut production, and India was placed second position only. Okay. Moving ahead, so the initiative will be helping developing countries, strengthening institutions, improving financial performances, and create investment ready water projects. The platform will align policy reforms, financing, and partnerships to expand reliable water services, strengthen systems against the droughts and floods. So, I already told you against the floods and all such kind of things. We have seen this. Okay. A key feature is country-led water compacts where government set reform priorities, strengthen the institutions and define investment pathways. So basically what we are trying to do is, see guys, we are not working on the infrastructure right now. We are not working on the infrastructure. We are working on the people who are going to work on the infrastructure, who are basically responsible for the policy formulation, for the working of this all the infrastructure. That is the government, that is the institutions which are responsible to take care of it, right? Until now 14 countries have announced their compacts so far regarding this particular water forward initiative. So Pratyush is saying, sir, 17th March 2026 PIB says India its largest producer of coconut. So basically here we have provided you the data. See guys, see please very clearly it has been mentioned in that PIB article which was been launched, right? They have mentioned the data of the FAO STAT 24. They have named the report according to which India was second globally, right? So the reference to that report has also been mentioned. Okay, and this data was there in the news articles recently. I hope this resolves your doubt. Clear everyone? Is this doubt clear? Please give me a thumbs up in the chat box. So this article is basically directly taken from the PIB itself, my dear friends. Let me tell you, if there is any information incorrect on the PIB, then again you cannot, even you won't be able to answer the question. Clear? I hope this makes sense and this is quite logical in nature. Clear? So don't worry. All the data that we are creating for all of you for these particular current affair chapters, right? I myself is basically supervising all the data, seeing that whether all the data has been mentioned correctly or not from the official sources. Clear? So please rest assured that no data will be incorrect mentioned here. Okay, now moving ahead. So we have already covered about the World Bank Group World Water Forward Global Platform for Water Security. Okay, now let's move ahead to the next part, that is India AI Mission selects 10 startups for the Global Acceleration Program cohort. So my dear friends, I would like to explain this news article with a very easy example. Let's take an example. You all know that IPL is going on, right? Indian Premier League is going on. Okay, let's take an example that there is a person who is really making a lot of runs in the domestic cricket. In the domestic cricket, the person is scoring a good number of runs, right? And government sees that, okay, so this person is making really performing very well. So why not let us? But this person is lagging the international exposure. So what exactly we can do for that? We can, let's try to plan his trip to, let's take an example, England or Australia, right? Where there is a organization which is basically bringing the talent from all across the world and the people are training together there on these areas in the cricket, and they can enhance, they can learn from each other, they can basically skill up to improve their workplay, right? Getting the point? Now let's try to see that this player who was a cricketer, now just let's try to replace this player with the startup. which a startup which is working in the field of artificial intelligence, right? So now in India, at a local level, it is having a lot of success. But we want that, yes, let we want it to basically provide the international exposure so that it can also expand its market. That's why we are trying to send such kind of startup which are working in the AI to go abroad, where we are really having such kind of better facilities, where they can test the things, where they can learn from other cohorts, and they can improve, and they can learn how to expand successfully globally. And that is why 10 startups have been selected for the global acceleration program cohort. And who will be doing that? In India, there is a mission for AI that is called India AI Mission. So, India AI Mission has selected this 10 Indian AI startups for the second cohort of the Indian AI Startups Global Acceleration Program. What it will be doing? It will be promoting cross border knowledge exchange, global market integration, exposure to international startup ecosystems, right? The program will be implemented by the Minister of Electronics and Information Technology to support global expansion of the AI startups. तो AI startups की expansion हम कर पाएंगे global level पर. It is conducted in collaboration with the Station F in Paris, which is the world's largest startup campus. See, my dear friends, where exactly we are sending the people. These the 10 selected startups. We are sending them to world's largest startup campus and HEC Paris. There is a F Station F Paris and HEC Paris, which are the largest startup campus areas, and we are providing them the exposure there so that they can learn, from there. Clear? Clear to everyone? So that's how the government of India is basically trying to enhance the capacity building of these startups. The cohort includes startups from the sectors like health tech, climate tech, ed tech, satellite intelligence, and the cognitive artificial intelligence. The program will consist of a 3-week online preparatory module followed by a 3-month residence in the Paris, France. So first of all, they will be learning the skills on online mode, right? You all know that it is a digital world right now. But after that, they need some practical exposure. For that, they have to go to France, Paris, and they will be there staying for a while for 3 months, and then they will be learning. The program provides mentorship, resources, strategy connections, and access to global networks to help startups scale internationally. The part initiative is a part of the India AI Mission Startup Financing Pillar and aligns with India's national AI strategy. Are you guys able to understand? Please tell me in the chat box. Is this example that I am giving to you, are they really helping you in retaining the important facts and figures and understanding the crux of the article, the initiative that we are discussing here? The people who have newly joined. Okay, so now let's try to move on to the next part. So Dash has launched Water Forward Global Platform for the Water Security. Please tell me what is the right answer. It is the World Bank Group. That is the right answer. Now let's move ahead. Launch Water Forward to improve water security for how many people? So basically 1 billion people. 1 billion people are being targeted. The World Bank Group aims to deliver water security to how many million people by 2030 on its own? That is 400 million. And with partners, the initiative targets over how many people? 1 billion people. That's it. Moving to the next part, Dash selected 10 startups for global acceleration program support. What is it? It is India AI Mission. Absolutely right. The program is implemented by the Dash to support global expansion for AI startups. So what exactly is the name of the implementing organization here? Quickly tell me in the chat box. I am waiting for a response in the chat box. What is its name? Let me see who will give me the right answer. Material Share, Pratyush, Pranav, Kashish, Herschel, Fruity. What will be the right answer? It's Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. It is conducted in collaboration with the Station F, world's largest startup campus, and H Paris, France. Right? So that's all from here. Now, my dear friends, let's move on to the next part. AICT launches the third edition of AICT Vani scheme. My dear friends, what is this Vani scheme? AICT Vani scheme. See, my dear friends, let's take an example that you guys are only able to understand English, right? And right now, I just starting teaching in Haryanvi to all of you, right? I am from Haryana and I am just starting teaching you in Haryanvi. There will be a linguistic barrier between us, right? And you won't be able to understand me properly. Similarly, what if I just started teaching you in Punjabi, or I am just starting teaching you in Telugu, and but you are someone who only understands English? What will happen? You won't be able to understand, right? Let me tell you, here in India, what exactly used to happen is that, see, there are so many people who are the part of the science and tech. There are so many engineers and graduates in the bachelor's in the science. But what happens is that the most of this technical knowledge is being given in English only. But you know, by human behavior, we basically think in our mother tongue only, right? We are having that capacity of thinking in the mother tongue only. But when the knowledge is being provided in the English language, I am thinking in the mother tongue, and when I will be converting it into the English language, it is again going to impact my learning experience and what I am trying to express, right? Do you guys agree with me? In order to remove that kind of barrier, in order to promote the local languages in this particular part so that people can do the research, write research papers in their own languages, that is why the Vani scheme was being launched by AICTE. What is AICTE? All India Council for Technical Education. It launched the third edition of its AICTE Vani. Vani stands for Vibrant Advocacy for Advancement and Nurturing of Indian Languages. What we are doing? We are advancing, right? We are advancing the local languages. We are nurturing the Indian languages through this particular initiative. And we are promoting Indian languages in the technical education and build an inclusive knowledge ecosystem in the regional languages. It makes technical education more accessible and meaningful for students across the country. When it comes to this particular part now, so it makes technical education more accessible and meaningful now for candidates, for students across the country, as they will be able to understand, they will be able to express, they will be able to think, they will be able to write in their own languages in a more free manner and in a more innovative manner. So this is going to encourage the publication of research papers in the Indian languages and strengthens collaboration between the academia and industry. So for this, what amount of financial assistance we are providing? We are providing the 4 crore financial assistance annually with us, and will be supporting 200 conferences and seminars, workshops. Rupees 2 lakh will be provided to teach selected institutions. So 2 lakh will be provided each to selected institutions. There will be 200 conferences, seminars, 4 crore assistance will be there annually, right? And event will be conducted in 22 regional languages, which will include Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Bengali, Marathi, Gujarati, Kannada, Malayalam, Punjabi, Urdu. So if you are from any one of them and you are accessing the technical knowledge in the country, you will be able to now carry forward in these languages also. So that is the flexibility that the government is giving. So what is the full form? Vibrant Advocacy for Advancing and Nurturing Indian Languages. Clear? And the scheme will be covering 16 thrust areas. See, again the technologies are being mentioned here. Okay? That's all. Clear to everyone? Clear to everyone? Let's move on to the next article. DGFT updates authorized banks for gold and silver imports till fiscal year 2029. DGFT updates authorized banks for gold and silver imports till fiscal year 29. Directorate General of Foreign Trade updated the list of banks authorized to import gold and silver. Right? So Directorate General of Foreign Trade has updated the list of banks, and they have basically authorized the banks to import gold and silver. And this basically modification was made under the Foreign Trade Policy 2023. 15 banks have been permitted to import both gold and silver. So 15 banks have been permitted now to import gold as well as silver, and 2 banks are being allowed to import and only gold. And what is the authorization time period for this? It is the period of 3 years, from April 1, 2026 to March 31 to 2029. Please remember this timeline. 3 years from April 1, 2026 to March 31, 2029. The list is based on the banks authorized by the Reserve Bank of India. Gold and silver imports are regulated through nominated agencies, mainly banks, to ensure oversight on inflows and manage impact of the external balances. Clear? So basically, how many banks have been authorized? 15 banks for both gold and silver, 2 banks for only gold. Right? Total 17 banks have been authorized now under the Foreign Trade Policy 2023. What is the timeline? 3 years, April 1, 2026 to 31 March 2029. That's it. That's what we are required to remember from examination point of view. Clear to everyone? Let's now try to move on to the questions. So AICTE launched third edition of the AICTE. What is the name? It's Vani scheme. Vani scheme. What is the full form? Vibrant advocacy for advancing and nurturing Indian languages. My dear friends, my pen is not working properly, but your comment section should not stop. Right? Moving ahead, what is the financial assistance that will be provided? 4 crore rupees. Events will be conducted for 2 to 3 days in 22 regional languages. Absolutely right. DGFT has authorized banks for what imports till fiscal year 2029? Gold and silver. According to the notification issued by DGFT, amendments have been made in the Appendix 4B of the Handbook of Procedures 2023 under the under Foreign Trade Policy 2023. That is the right part. Clear? Now dash banks have been permitted to import both gold and silver. How many banks? 15 banks. And how many banks? Only gold? 2 banks. The authorization is valid for 3 years. What is the time period? 1st April 2026 to 31st March 2029. Clear? The list is based on the banks authorized by the nominated agencies. Clear to everyone? Clear to every one of you? Okay, so it's clear to everyone. So now we can move ahead to the next part. Okay, everybody is getting it. Now, my dear friends, let's move on to the next news article, that is Niti Aayog has released the 7th edition of Trade Watch Quarterly for Q3 fiscal year 26. Let me tell you, my dear friends, that this report, although is been released by the Niti Aayog, right, but this is a quarterly report and it is not that much important from examination point of view. So I am removing the star from here. Okay, I am removing the star from here because it is not that much important. From here you can just remember one thing, that Surat has been identified as the India's world's largest cutting and polishing hub. Surat is identified as the world's largest cutting and polishing hub, and when it comes to the report has been released by Niti Aayog. That's it. Only these two things are required to be remembered from examination point of view. Clear to everyone? All of you getting it? Let's move on to the next news article. So my dear friends, next news article is Samrit Gram initiative, which has been nominated for WSIS prizes 2026. The Department of Telecommunication has initiative Samrit Gram integrated phygital service delivery model enabled by BharatNet has been nominated for the WSIS World Summit on the Information Society Prizes 2026. And in which category? In enabling environment category. So what you have to remember, the name of the initiative Samrit Gram integrated phygital service delivery of model enabled by BharatNet. Clear? So this is the name of that initiative which has been selected, nominated by under the WSIS prizes. Let me tell you that this conference of the WSIS will be taking place in 2026 in Geneva, and that time only we will be able to understand that whether this will be getting the prize or not. Now let's try to understand the Samrit Gram. Samrit Gram is important for us. Clear? Now what is Samrit Gram? See my dear friends, you all know that in the rural areas, whenever a person gets sick, where they exactly go? They directly move to the cities, city hospitals, right, for the treatments. After that, if a person basically wants to have good education, they go to the private schools in cities, right? So basically for many reasons they are moving from their rural areas to the cities, right, on a temporary basis, like sometime for the treatment, sometime for education, sometime for other services, right? So why not we just provide such every such facility in the village itself, so that they are not wasting their time. Even if they want to have a if they want to upgrade their skill set, so they can just go to that particular place instead of going to the city, right? Let's take an example as a solution. Let's take an example. Any one of you wrote a letter to me, sir, in my gaon, in my village, I am facing this particular problem, please try to solve this. So as a government, I told you that okay, in your village I am creating a mall, right? I am creating a small mall. This mall will be having a telemedicine facility services. This mall will be having the good treatment facility services. This mall will be having some institutions which are providing the good education, good skill sets, right? So you will be going to city, or you will be going to this mall. You will be going to this mall only because it is there in your area. Now let me tell you that I have marked this. I have named this mall as a Samriddh Gram Kendra. Samriddh Gram Kendra. So the initiative is basically on the BharatNet and establishes Samriddh Kendras as the one-stop hubs delivering integrated physical and digital services. That's why we call it as a phygital services. Physical and digital both, that's why phygital services. The initiative aims to enhance service access, reduce travel time and cost, improve digital literacy, and increase the livelihood opportunities in the rural areas. These kendras provide rural access to services in healthcare, education, agriculture, governance, financial inclusion, e-commerce, using broadband, FTTH, public Wi-Fi and all. So just remember, this is a kind of mall in your village where you can just go to resolve your issues. Clear to everyone? And this WSIS wala part I already told you, it is in Geneva. It will be taking place in Geneva. Everyone getting the point? Is the current affair now really becoming easy after these sessions? Please tell me in the chat box. See, let's try to answer this question. What is the initiative nominated for WSI's prize? Is very easy. It is Samrit Gram initiative, right? Samrit Gram initiative is the right answer. It under which category it was done? Environment category. Absolutely right. Then Samrit Gram initiative is initiative built on BharatNet and establishes Samrit Gram Kendras. Absolutely right. Now WSIS Forum 2026 will be held in July 2026 in Geneva, that is the right answer, and all done. Okay, good to see that. Yes, now things are becoming very, very easy for all of you. Now let's move ahead to the next news article, my dear friends. So next news article, index of 8 core industries declines by 0.4% in March 2026. My dear friends, let me tell you that again this is the date of the March. By the time you will be having the examination, we will be having the date of either April or May. Right? So we are basically required to cover this particular part more from exam point of view. But let me tell you that you can still understand the static portion of this particular news article. Now what exactly is this? Let's try to understand this. See my dear friends, you guys basically ride car. Let's take an example. You are having a car, right? In your car, engine plays a very important role. Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong? You are having a car and engine plays a very important role because it is a driving force. Now let's take an example. This engine is having 8 different parts. It is having 8 different parts. If anything happens to any one of the part, engine will stop and your car will stop. Getting the point? Getting the point? Similarly, let me tell you my dear friends that in our country there are 8 core industries. I told you na that the engine is having 8 parts. Similarly, in our country there are 8 core industries which are the engines of the economy. And whenever we want to see that what exactly is their performance, we basically try to measure their performance by how? By having an index of 8 core industries. So if any part among this 8 core industries, if any one of them will basically impacted, so the whole engine will suffer and economy, it is going to impact the whole economy. Now what exactly are these 8 core industries? These are coal, crude oil, natural gas, refinery products, fertilizers, steel, cement and electricity. Clear? Clear to everyone? You can just remember with this an acronym FRENCCS. So these are franks, right? If these 8 core industries are quite frank with the economy and they are working good, then definitely India's economy is going to boost, right? Please remember the acronym franks and you will be able to remember all of them. F stands for fertilizer, R stands for refinery products, E stands for electricity, N stands for natural gas, C stands for coal, crude oil and cement, and S stands for steel. That's it. If the next time you are required to tell me the name of the 8 core industries, what exactly the answer you will be telling me, please tell me in the chat box. And additionally, when it comes to this particular data, it has basically the index of the 8 core industries had declined by 0.4% in March 2026. Clear? Clear, my dear future RBI Grade B officers? Now let's move ahead to the next news article. Inaugural BRICS Academic Forum convened in New Delhi in April 2026. So my dear friends, Observer Research Foundation along with the Research and Information System for Developing Countries hosted the inaugural BRICS Academic Forum in New Delhi. So again, India is having the baton now. India is the chair of the BRICS. So that is why India is hosting this summit, right? So Observer Research Foundation along with the Research and Information System for Developing Countries will be hosting the inaugural BRICS Academic Forum in New Delhi. Clear? And we are already having the theme. I already told you what is the theme for this year. It is BRICS only, right? B stands for building. It is building resilience, innovation, cooperation, and sustainability. That's all. 2026 also marks the 2 decades since the establishment of BRICS, because we all know that in 2026 it was being created. We have already covered it in a very holistical manner from examination point of view. So I won't be repeating all this information, my dear friends. It is just the repetition of the same. Clear to everyone? Clear to everyone? We have already covered this in a very detailed manner. Now let's move on to the next part. My dear friends, India and Republic of Korea have signed a MOU for MSME cooperation. So Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises has signed an MOU with the Ministry of SMEs and Startups of the Republic of Korea. So Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises and the Startup of the Republic of Korea has basically signed this MOU with the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises of India. Clear? And they will be establishing a structured framework for collaboration and sustained dialogue on MSME related issues. So whatever the issues the MSMEs are basically facing, they will be collaborating and they will be having a sustained dialogue on the same. They will be understanding that okay, what problem your MSME is facing, what problem my MSME facing, what exactly is this ecosystem is all about, how we can strengthen the stakeholder engagement more. So that is what the key proposals as a part of this particular MOU. Clear? Let's move ahead. Before moving ahead, let's try to quickly answer the question. So my dear friends, before answering the question, I want all of you to show some energy in the chat box. Please show some energy. Kindly show some fire in the chat box so that I can see that yes, you guys are ready to give me the answer. So I can see in the chat box the different forms of energy that you guys are sharing. That's really great to see. Okay guys, let's come back to the quick recall. Okay, so your different comments have brought smile on my face. Thank you for that. Index of 8 core industries has declined by 0.4%. So please tell me that the index of 8 core industries tracks performance of 8 sectors. What are these 8 sectors? What are these 8 sectors I told you? Please remember. F R E N C C C S, right? F stands for fertilizer, R stands for refinery products, electricity, natural gas, coal, crude oil, cement and steel. Have you faced any problem in answering this question? Any single student who has faced problem in answering this question? Are you guys able to retain all these sectors? Tell me, earlier were you able to remember all these sectors? Let me tell you frankly that even I was not aware of all these sectors. Like I was aware but I was not able to remember. But the moment while teaching you all of you this news article, I tried to make it easy for all of you, and at that point of time I got this particular acronym in my mind and I just told you that. And along with you, I am also able to retain all these sectors names now in my mind only. Now I don't even need any external source to tell me that what exactly are these 8 core sectors. So my dear friends, that's how we have to make things easy. Okay, if you are having your own if you are having your own ways to remember the things, definitely it will be very very helpful for you. Now can you please tell me that what is the base year? Base year for index of 8 core industries we already covered while covering the news article. What is the base year? It is 2011-12, absolutely right. Now moving ahead, Dash in partnership with the Research and Information System for Developing Countries has hosted the inaugural BRICS Academic Forum. What is the name? Observer Research Foundation, right? And it has basically conducted this particular summit, this forum in New Delhi. Now the panel discussions were structured around thematic pillars. What are these thematic pillars? These are basically, I told you that this year the theme is about the BRICS, right? So the thematic pillars are also RICS, right? Resilience, innovation, cooperation and sustainability. Building resilience, innovation, cooperation and sustainability. I don't think that after this session you are going to forget all these details that we are covering and the way we are covering. And this year we are marking the 2 decades since the establishment of BRICS, and India has basically assumed the BRICS chairship on January 1, 2026. Now Indian Republic of which country has signed this MOU? Korea. It's Korea. Clear to everyone? Now just last 4 articles are left, my dear friends. Let's cover them quickly. So India's seafood exports has reached record level in fiscal year 25-26. Okay. So India's seafood exports has touched a record of 72,325.82 crores with a volume of 19.32 lakh metric tons. So what is the value? 72,325 crores. And what is the volume? 19.32 lakh metric tons as per the Marine Product Export Development Authority. Now the frozen shrimp has remained the largest contributor in the India seafood exports with 47,973.13 crores. See guys, in the examination very less chances that this value will be asked, but yes, this can be asked in the exam. That is the frozen shrimp, which is the largest contributor to this particular value, that is 72,325 crore for the India seafood exports. And what is the name of the country with the largest export destination? That is United States is the country with the largest export destination. Rest these data are not that important. Here top 5 ports are been given. So Vizag, Jawaharlal Nehru Port Authority, then Kochi, Kerala, Chennai, which accounted for 64% of the total export value. That's all we need to remember from here. Let's try to answer these questions. What is the India seafood exports? It touched the record value of around 72,000 crore. 72,300 crore rupees, right? So Dash remained the largest contributor here. What was that? It is frozen shrimp. Dash remained the largest export destination. It was United States. Top 5 ports mein it is, which one is missing? Vizag is missing. Absolutely everybody has given the right answer. Now let's move ahead to the next part. India's textile exports grew by 2.1% in fiscal year 25-26. Okay, India's textile exports grew by 2.1%. So a very very important article. This is of the 22nd of April, right? So total textile exports increased to 3,16,334 crore, and we have seen a growth of 2.1%. Clear? So basically this is the main most important data that we need to cover from here. So total textile exports has reached the value of 3,16,334.9 crores and seeing a growth of 2.1%. The ready-made garment remained the largest export segment. Cotton yarn fabrics, made-ups, handloom products exports increased marginally. Man-made yarn fabrics and made-ups exports grew to 42,687.8 crores. So that's all from here. Remember the value 3,16,000 crores, or we can say 3.16 lakh crores with a growth rate of 2.1%. When we talk about the major export growth market for the country, it is United Arab Emirates, right? So UAE is the major export growth market for the country. Then government has supported with some measures as well, including the extension of the rebate of state and central taxes and levy scheme, and the RODTEP scheme beyond 31st March 2026. Now there were some key trade agreements also which took place, right? For example, guys, India EFTA Trade and Economic Partnership Agreement, which came into force on 1st October 2025. Let me tell you, my dear friends, last year such kind of agreement was there in the news, and there was a question on that as well in the exam. I will be telling you which one. So India FTA Trade and Economic Partnership Agreement entered into force on 1st of October 2025, right? It is a comprehensive free trade agreement between the European Free Trade Association states, that is Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway, Switzerland and India. So my dear friends, this was the question in the examination. The name of these four countries was being given and one of the country was being mentioned incorrectly. You were required to answer the question in the examination that which of the following country is not there. I think the people who have attempted the last year exam, they basically are having the idea that what exactly was the question, right? As they have basically lived that question. Now how to remember this kind of information? Let me tell you, it's very simple. No ice lies in Switzerland. No ice lies in Switzerland. Okay. So what exactly it stands for? No stands for Norway, I stands for Iceland, lies, it's a Liechtenstein, and Switzerland is Switzerland. So that's how you can remember. Last year I told you SLIN, SLIN, right? But this year I would say no ice lies in Switzerland will help you retain more, because so many times like what happens is that SL becomes Sri Lanka also in the mind for the people, right? So let's upgrade ourselves from the last year, so that this year there is no such kind of incorrect answer, there is no probability to answer the question incorrectly. Clear? So basically, my dear friends, apart from that, India was also having a comprehensive economic trade agreement signed in July 2025. India Oman CEPA signed in December 2025. India New Zealand FTA was announced on 22nd December 25. India European Union FTA concluded on 27th January 2026. So many different FTAs and agreements have been signed by the government of India, right? So we have to remember them. Clear? So India EFTA in October 2025, India UK July, India Oman December, India New Zealand December, India EU January. That's all. And why exactly these FTAs are being signed? FTAs are being signed. It is basically a deal between the countries to make trade easier. I told you that example now, that there is a toll tax. There is a toll tax on the road, and due to which not many people travel through that road. So basically, in order to make the things easier, we are removing that toll tax, and that's why we sign such kind of agreements like FTA, right? So we are reducing or removing the import and export duties, we are lowering the trade barriers, we are covering areas like investments, intellectual property and government procurement. That's all. Clear to everyone? Let's move ahead to the next news article. India added record 6.1 gigawatt wind energy capacity in 2025-2026. So India has achieved the highest ever annual wind energy, that is the 6.1 gigawatt, and with this India has crossed the 56.1 gigawatt total installed wind energy capacity, with an additional 58 gigawatt under the implementation. Clear? India ranks 4th globally in the wind energy capacity. India is presently ranked 4th globally in the wind energy capacity. So after that, we are only having one article, a very important one, fruity, that is Atal Pension Yojana. We will be covering only till now today, and the remaining articles will be covered tomorrow. Okay. So India has recorded 6.1 gigawatt. Just give me a second. Okay, now it's Fine. So India has added record 6.1 gigawatt wind energy capacity in 2025-2026, and it was the highest amount for this year, 6.1 gigawatt ever, and 56.1 gigawatt is the additional 20 is the total installed wind energy capacity for the country. India ranks 4th globally in the wind energy capacity, and government is having the target of 100 gigawatt of the wind capacity by 2030 and 156 gigawatt by 2036. ठीक है जी. So government targets 100 gigawatt wind capacity by 2030 and 156 gigawatt by 2036. So please remember these values. Expansion of wind energy is aimed at supporting India's net zero target by 2070. Please remember it. Now let's try to solve these questions, guys. India's textile growth exports grew by how much percent? 2.1%. ठीक है? And I already told you 3.1 lakh crore, 3.16 lakh crore was the value of the total textile exports from the country. Now quickly tell me, dash remained the largest export segment. What is that? We covered that in the session, right? I am waiting for a response in the chat box. Please try to give me the answer in the quick manner. What is the name of that particular segment which was the highest one? Which was the highest one? The remaining of the things we have already covered in a very beautiful manner. Just only this answer I want from all of you. So it was absolutely right. Ready-made segment. Absolutely right. Now, my dear friends, can you please tell me what are the 4 countries under the India EFTA Trade and Economic Partnership Agreement? I already told you. What is the right answer? It was no, ice, lies in Switzerland. Absolutely right. No ice lies in Switzerland. Absolutely right. Norway, Iceland, Liechtenstein and Switzerland. That is the right answer. Clear? Now let's move on to the next article. India added record 6.1 gigawatt of the wind energy capacity in 25-26. And this basically took India's number to 56 gigawatt. India ranked to which position globally in the wind energy capacity? 4th position. Government targets 100 gigawatt wind capacity by which year? 2030. And what is the capacity by 2036? 156 gigawatts. Absolutely right. Now, my dear friends, we are moving on to the final question, the final article of the today's session, and let me tell you, it is a very, very important one. And what is that? What is that article? That article is Atal Pension Yojana. So you remember in one of the articles I gave you that example of the piggy bank, right? Let's try to use that example here. That will perfect here, right? So in the childhood days, when we were not having our any kind of income, so we were having that support of the piggy bank, our favorite, that piggy bank, right? Let me tell you here, similar is the situation when you are in your old age. When you are not having any kind of energy to work, when you are not having enough amount of zeal to work, and you are already done with your life, and now you are just enjoying your retired life, right? So basically, we have created a piggy bank for such kind of old people, and that is basically known as Atal Pension Yojana. Now let me tell you, my dear friends, you might be thinking, sir, okay, there are so many people who are enrolled in the NPS and all, so they are getting the pension. So what was the requirement of Atal Pension Yojana? See, my dear friends, those kind of systems are for the organized sector. But when it comes to the unorganized sector, the people who are just, for example, the laborers are there, right? So these people are not having that, or they are not working in the organized sector. So what exactly is there for them? So basically what government says, that what you can do, that you can save some amount of money, right? You can give that money to us, and we will be providing you back after you turn 60. So when you will be turning 60, we promise you, when you will be turning 60, we promise you that we will be providing you the pension, and that pension amount will be between 1000 to 5000 rupees. Clear? And there is some age criteria also, so there will be some age criteria, right? That who will be eligible for such kind of part. So basically, my dear friends, the people who are in the age of 18 to 40 years, they can participate in the Atal Pension Yojana. They will be contributing some amount in that piggy bank, and after that, when they will turn 60, government of India will say that okay, your piggy bank is full. Now in the terms of pension, we will be providing you that some amount every month, but the maximum limit of that will be rupees 5000, and the minimum limit of that will be rupees 1000, but that will only be according to your कंट्रीब्यूशन टू दैट पिगी बैंक, कि आपने कितना कंट्रीब्यूट किया पिगी बैंक में, उसी के बेसिस पर ये पता चलेगा. ठीक है जी. सो माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, लेट्स कम बैक ऑन टू द आर्टिकल. आर यू गाइज अंडरस्टैंडिंग द कॉन्सेप्ट हियर? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल प्लीज टेल मी, understood the concept? Now let's move ahead. So Atal Pension Yojana is a flagship social security scheme of the government of India. As we are talking about the pensions in India, which entity is related to the pension, it is Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority. Has achieved a historic milestone by surpassing total gross enrollments of 9 crore subscribers. So that is the reason why it was in the news. 9 crore subscribers it has got on 21st of April 2026. The date is not that important, but you have to remember the 9 crore value. It is the latest value, right? The gross enrollments, although for the year 25-26 has crossed 1.35 crore subscribers, which is the highest ever enrollments recorded in a single financial year. So my dear friends, see, two records are there. 9,000 crores, a milestone which has been achieved by Atal Pension Yojana, and 1.35 crore is the total enrollments in a single year. That is basically the another milestone, right? And let me tell you, my dear friends, in January 2026, now Government of India also extended the timeline, right? And they approved the continuation of the Atal Pension Yojana up to fiscal year 2030-31. So please remember all these details. See, January के अंदर this change was made, that it was extended till 2030-31. That is what we have to remember. Okay. So I hope this is clear. So now the scheme will be continuing up to 2030-31 with the government support for promotion and developmental activities to expand outreach among the unorganized workers, including awareness and capacity building. So my dear friends, so government says दैट अगर APY का साथ है तो जीवन का सुरक्षा कवच भी साथ है. दैट इज APY का साथ है तो जीवन का सुरक्षा कवच साथ है. दैट मीन्स यू आर हैविंग दैट संपूर्ण सुरक्षा कवच, कंप्लीट सिक्योरिटी शील्ड फॉर द टाइम पीरियड आफ्टर टर्निंग 60 years. Clear to everyone? Getting the point? Understanding the point? So my dear friends, Atal Pension Yojana. So now the question comes that when exactly it was launched. It was launched on 9th of May 2015, but it was implemented from 1st June 2015. 9th May ko it was launched and it was implemented on 1st of June. And as here we are providing the financial assistance in the form of the pension. So basically Ministry of Finance will be the responsible ministry here. And the objective will be very simple, to provide old age income security to workers in the unorganized sector. It is a voluntary scheme, my dear friends. It is not mandatory for everyone. It is a voluntary scheme. Contributory pension scheme, primarily focusing on the poor, the underprivileged and the workers in the unorganized sector. And it will be providing a Sampoorn Suraksha Kavach, complete security shield, right? It offers a guaranteed minimum pension of rupees 1000 to rupees 5000. Clear? So it offers a guaranteed minimum pension of rupees 1000 to rupees 5000 per month, starting at rupees age 60 based on the contributions. Let me tell you, my dear friend, that there is no such a minimum or the maximum part right here in terms of contribution. I will be telling you the numbers also, don't worry about it. So pension provides a monthly income to the people during their unproductive years. I already told you that, explained you that in a very easy manner. So minimum period of contribution is 40 years or more. Sorry, 20 years or more. How? I told you that the person in the age group of 18 to 40 years, they can contribute. Let's take an example. A person is already entering into the APY at the age of 40. So what is the minimum amount of period? Till 60, that is 20 years, right? That's how this 20 years of the timeline has come. And what is the maximum years? Maximum year is the 42 years. From 18 to 60. Clear? Now any citizen, my dear friends, any citizen of the India can join APY scheme. The following are the eligibility criteria. The age of the subscriber should be between 18 to 40 years. जो सब्सक्राइबर की एज होगी वो होगी बिटवीन 80 to 40 years, राइट. ही शुड हैव अ सेविंग्स बैंक अकाउंट, पोस्ट सेविंग्स बैंक अकाउंट. तो ये आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट होनी चाहिए, ये होना चाहिए आपके पास. द एप्लीकेंट मस्ट बी हैविंग अ मोबाइल नंबर which he can submit to the bank during the enrollment under the APY to receive periodic updates on their APY account as well as on the APY scheme. Aadhaar may also be provided at the time of enrollment as APY scheme is notified for the same. Clear? So age group is 18 to 40 years, minimum amount of time 20 years is required, and the pension will start after you turning 60. And additionally, what is the minimum and maximum pension? 1000 rupees and 5000 rupees. Clear to everyone? So my dear friends, let me tell you that you can just relate it with the example that you can see that okay, in my neighborhood there is an old age person and that person is basically unable to have overcome his expenditures, right? Fulfill his expenditure. So while seeing this problem, you wrote a letter to the government of India, and government of India as a result came up with a solution where government has basically decided that we are having a Atal plan, that we will be providing support to this kind of people, and that is Atal pension plan, Atal pension yojana, right? But for that we are having a condition. If you want to be supported by the government in your old age, then please you have to contribute to a piggy bank. I am creating a piggy bank of yours. You have to contribute some amount and I will be returning that amount in the form of pension when you turn 60. That's it. For that time only you are wanting it. Now let's take an example. There is a person X, right? And he is having a wife Y. So X was basically enrolled to the Atal pension yojana and he has contributed to the amount, right? But what happened is that this X person passed away, unfortunately. So his pension will be now given to which person? To Y. Because after the death, spouses will be getting. So see here, after subscriber demise, the spouse of the subscriber shall be entitled to receive the same pension amount. It's not like it will get half. No, it will be the same pension amount until the death of the spouse. The return of the corpus accumulated till the age of 60 to the nominee after the death of both. When both of them passes away, then the nominee will be getting the corpus, the accumulated corpus. So that the piggy bank was there now. So piggy bank amount which was left in the piggy bank, so it will be given to them, to the nominee. Now my dear friends, let me tell you here a very important point. See, now you must be thinking that if a person is entering the Atal pension yojana and you are having a query in your mind, sir, how exactly he will be getting the 1000 rupees, right? So let's take an example. He is entering at the age of 18 years. So at that point of time, the minimum amount the amount that he should basically invest in order to get 1000 rupees pension after the age of 60, that will be 42 rupees, right? 42 will be the contribution by that person. And the person, if the person wants 5000 rupees, like he is having high aspirations like all of you, that like you want to go to the RBI, right? So basically if he wants to get 5000 rupees, then he have to contribute more, and that amount is 210 rupees. Clear? Just remember, 42 rupees, you are multiplying it by 5. That's it. Nothing else. Clear? Similarly, my dear friends, if you are entering at the age of 40, right, and then you want the pension of rupees 1000, then you have to basically give 291 rupees. And if you want the pension of rupees 5000, you have to submit 1454 rupees every month in that account. Then only you will be getting rupees 5000. So the limits will be in between only, right? You can contribute in between 42 and 210 and 291 and 1454. That's it. Clear? Now let's move on to the next news article, my dear friends. Only 2 articles are left. Let's complete it, right? Then we will be moving on to the remaining articles tomorrow. So guys, Singapore has become top source of FDI inflows into India in the April to December 2026. A very important part. So many times we see that these questions are being asked. So my dear friends, India has received the total FDI equity inflow of $47.87 billion, right? As per the DPIT data, and Singapore was the top source, followed by US and Mauritius on the third position. Please remember, Singapore, US and Mauritius, the top 3 one, okay? Rest remaining things are not that much important. When it comes to the sector wise, computer, software and hardware sector is the one which is the best performing one. And in the state wise, my dear friends, Maharashtra has received the highest inflows. So Maharashtra received the highest inflows, followed by Karnataka. The maximum was basically from Singapore, right? Singapore was the top source. And total FDI equity inflow in India was $47.87 billion. That's it. Clear? Let's move on to the last article of the today's session, and that is on the Ramsar sites, my dear friends, and it is very, very important one. So Sheikh Jheel Bird Sanctuary, designated as India's 99th Ramsar site. Sheikh Jheel Bird Sanctuary in Aligarh, Uttar Pradesh has been designated as a Ramsar site. So basically these are the wetlands which are basically declared as the Ramsar sites under the Ramsar Convention. We will be discussing that. So India's total Ramsar sites has increased to 99 now, and Uttar Pradesh is having now 12 Ramsar sites in the country, right? And I am giving you a question, you have to tell me the name of the state which is having the maximum number of Ramsar sites across India. This is your homework. And I want all of you to answer me this question in the comment section of this session after the end of the session, not now. Nobody will be answering me now. Only after the end of the session you will be answering, right? So clear with this? Now let's try to discuss about the Ramsar Convention. Guys, see, Ramsar Convention was basically signed in the Ramsar. Ramsar is a place in Iran. And in 1971, an international treaty was being signed where we basically took an oath for the conservation and sustainable use of wetlands, right? And it was adopted in February 1971, and it came into force in 1975. See guys, 2 different timelines. 1971 was adopted, but it was implemented from 1975 21st December. And when it comes to the Ramsar site, these are the wetlands designated as wetlands for international importance. That means now they are no more normal wetlands. They are basically wetlands of international importance. Clear, my dear friends? Now India, when did India become member? In 1982 India became the member. That's it. That's all we have to remember. Sheikh Jheel Bird Sanctuary in Aligarh, Uttar Pradesh. Clear to everyone? Are you guys ready to answer the question quickly? Let's move on the quick recall, but before that I want all of you to give me some fire in the chat box. Please give me some fire in the chat box. Show some energy. We are on the last Drishyam round of the today's session. I want all of you to show some fire in the chat box. Let's see who will give me the right answer in the chat box. Okay, let's start. Atal Pension Yojana, in a very, very quick manner. What is the enrollment number it has passed? That is 9 crore. Absolutely right. It is administered by PFRDA. Enrollment of 9 crore subscribers, and it has crossed 1.35 crore subscribers in this financial year. Now when it comes to the in January 2026, the union government has expanded and extended the continuation of APY till 2030-31. Now APY was launched on 9th May 2015 and 1st June 2015 was the implementation date. What is the name of the ministry? Ministry of Finance. Objective is basically to provide old age income security to workers in the unorganized sector. Absolutely well done, well done. Keep it up. Speed up, speed up, speed up, my dear friends. Speed up. It offers a guaranteed minimum pension of which amount to which amount? 1,000 to 5,000 amount. Absolutely right. At which age? 60 years of age. Absolutely right. Let's move on to the next part. Therefore, minimum period of contribution will be. What is the minimum period of contribution? 20 years. Absolutely right. Now the age of subscriber should be between 18 to 40 years. बिल्कुल सही जवाब. आगे बढ़ेंगे. After the subscriber demise, who will be getting the subscribers? Who will be getting the pension? The spouse. Absolutely right. And return of the corpus accumulated till the age of 60 will be given to the nominee after the death of the both. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Everybody has given the right answer. Now moving on to the next part. Dash become the top source of FDI inflow into the India in April to December fiscal year 26. What is the right answer? Singapore is the right answer. Now state-wise, which state received the highest inflow? That is Maharashtra. Maharashtra. Absolutely right. Now Sheikh Jil Bird Sanctuary in Aligarh, UP has been designated as Ramsar site. Now how many total number of sites are there in India? 99. Absolutely right. And Ramsar Convention की अगर हम बात करेंगे, Ramsar Convention, it was a treaty signed in 1971. It is a Ramsar International Treaty, right? It was adopted in Ramsar, Iran. And in which year? Ramsar is Iran. Came into force in 21st December 1975. Absolutely right. And India became a member in 1982. Yes, absolutely right. Well done, my dear friends. All of you have given all the right answers in the question. I can see in the chat box. And that is basically the result of the hard work, the dedication and the commitment that you have shown in the last 3 hours, more than 3 hours of the today's session, where for the last 3 hours you are sticking to the seats, you are listening to me, focusing on the screen. And that's how, guys, let me tell you that every day when you will be taking such kind of steps, it will be taking you closer to the train of the Reserve Bank of India, which is already waiting for you to take you to the Mumbai, right? So please ensure that yes, you are on an everyday basis going to commit yourself in the similar manner, right? How are you feeling right now? Feeling energetic now? After giving all the right answers, we have covered the part 1 today of the April 16 to 22, 2026, right? And let me tell you again, my dear friends, I know that so many people will be having a doubt, ki sir, where exactly we will be getting the PDF. Let me tell you very quickly here. What you have to do, just go to chapters website, chapters.in, right? So if anyone is here who is still thinking, that you will be getting the PDF of the session, the Telegram, guys, you are in a basically कोई गलतफहमी हुई है आपको, you are having some misinformation, right? The PDF will be uploaded in the portal. You can access it by on the top right corner. It is written course, and here you can see the current affairs package is there, right? When you will go into the current affairs package, you can see that there is a month of April 2025, right? April 2026, sorry. You will click here. You can see that the whole curriculum is here, and you can see that for the 1st to 7th of April, the weekly revision PDF, videos and the Drishyam round PDF is already there. For the 8th to 15th, the Drishyam round PDF is there, the current affairs revision session is there, and also the weekly current affairs PDF is there. And now, my dear friends, let me tell you here that after this session I will be adding another section here of 16 to 22nd, and today's PDF will be provided there. Clear to everyone? And another important information for all of you, and what exactly it is? So Jalaj sir has given me a very, very splendid information just beforehand, some moments back, and that is, let me tell you, my dear friends, that we have added more than 210 questions in the finance. If you are someone who is looking for the quality MCQs for the finance, for the management, let me tell you, my dear friends, and if you are someone who is already having the course of the other institutions, right? And still you want to purchase some quality MCQs, you want to practice some quality MCQs. Let me tell you that this RBI Grade B Phase 2 Test Series package is for all of you. Let me tell you that here you will be getting the economic and social issues current affair articles. Sorry, not the current affair articles. There will be tests. There will be MCQs. 1000 plus MCQs will be there. Right? 5 sectional ESI descriptive tests will be there. And you all know how we have provided you the evaluation during the SEBI grade examination, right? So same kind of evaluation will be provided in the RBI as well. Then we are having this English descriptive, 5 tests for each question, RC, Pressy and the essay writing. Then we are having the finance. For the finance we are having the 1500 plus chapter wise MCQs, out of which around 250 MCQs are already been uploaded by Jalaj sir, right? So we are continuously uploading the content in this test series package. And let me tell you another important thing, my dear friends, current affairs. All the current affairs quizzes, if you are someone who is not interested in purchasing the current affairs package but you want to solve the quizzes, then you can come here and you can basically attempt the MCQs from this test series. Clear to everyone? So this is the support that we are providing to all of you, my dear friends, and that was all from the today's session. I believe that you must have liked this particular session, and if you are having any queries, feel free to tell me the queries in the comment section and I will definitely be reverting to your queries. And right now I have to bid a bye here. Why so? Because we are having another session at 7:30 p.m. not on the YouTube, but this is a mock interview session, right? And that is why I have to conclude the session for now. But I will be waiting for your comments in the comment section. Please tell me the name of the state which is the highest, which is the state with the highest number of Ramsar sites in our country. So Pranav, very soon we will be providing you all, right? So I am having the target that by 5th or the 6th of May, your complete April will be there in the current affairs chapter. Clear? So my dear friends, now please allow me to conclude this particular session. I will be waiting for your response in the comment section. I will be meeting you tomorrow now at the 4 p.m. with the remaining of the articles that are left. Okay, goodbye. Wish you all happy learning.